All right, welcome everybody to the Genesis Mindset. Today is another episode of the Atropa Movement. So it's been a while since we have done an Atropa Movement episode. So we've come together, brought all the boys together. So this is an episode that I've titled Agents of the Fed, or to Agents of Fed. So some of the most, in my opinion, some of the most elite OGs within the Atropa ecosystem. So obviously the Atropa ecosystem, for me at least, is more than an ecosystem. It's really a movement. And so the Atropa movement is about working together to bring life to the community and the type of community that I feel and that we feel is needed to see this ecosystem thrive and succeed into the future. So this is a revolutionary decentralized financial system. And in my opinion, it needs more than just math. It actually needs the right consciousness behind it. And that's why we're together today. So what's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Not much. How about you? How you doing today, Steve?
Yeah, not too bad. It's a beautiful day in Brisbane, actually. The sun is out, the sun is shining. So I'm definitely very happy now that you guys are here. I was just saying I was a little bit nervous because it's been so long since I've done a group stream, but boy, we've got some bangers here today. So we've got Yogi for the first time, Stu, and then Sunny as well. So let's go around and let's just introduce each other. So Yogi, why don't you introduce yourself? This is your first time streaming. So what's your foray into the Atropa ecosystem? What are you all about, man?
Okay. I'm Yogi. Pretty much being a dev for the Atropa ecosystem now, building front ends that interact with the contracts that Maria makes and the tokens. I come from the log. I've been in the logs for a very long time. That's where I come from. Mainly BFF is where I really originated from, or that's where my journey started in Atropa. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I guess just to add to that, so everybody knows, so Yogi is the dev who created the Treasury System.win website. So yeah, that's definitely some of Yogi's work, if anyone's familiar with that. So, all right. We also got Stu. So Stu, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody? So people who follow this channel should know who you are by now. But anyway, do you want to just introduce yourself again and your foray into the Atropa ecosystem?
Yeah, well, as you know, I'm Stu. Been around here for a while. Been kind of here since I don't know, maybe when Atropa was starting to become a thing. Definitely missed out on buying a lot of the early stuff, but think we make up for it at the end. But yeah, been here, been working hard, and it's kind of paid itself off. So things are great. Ecosystem's great. I can't complain.
Love it. Thanks, Stu. And then of course we got Sunny the detective. What's going on, Sunny?
Hello, Coco Fufu baby.
What's going on, man?
My name is Sunny. I am an Atropaholic for 2.3 years now. I keep trying to kick the habit, but there's just so much tokens to be made that I can't stop. So I'm hoping that this meeting tonight might help us all out and change some of our lives. What's up, boys? How you doing?
I love that. Atropaholics.
I like that. It's awesome.
Dude, I get drunk on Atropa every day. I wake up with my coffee and I'm like, oh shit, let me just make $500 with my coffee. Like, I love me some Atropa.
Oh, love it. Brilliant. Really, really
I'll tell
good.
you right now, one of the best things about crypto, I don't care where the stream goes and if we go there right now or not, but there is nothing better in this world than waking up in the morning and making money while you're taking a shit. Nothing better.
How are you making money while you're shitting there? Is that just your LPs filling up? You're doing some trades on the loo? What's going on there?
Oh no, I all my trading is Treasury tokens now. Like, I don't even mess around with trades, right? Like, I just make profitable clicks. Like, if something's out of line, I just fix it and get the profit for it.
Nice. You talking about arbitrage?
Yeah, I mean, basic arbitrage.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, let's get straight into it. So what have you boys been looking at lately in the Treasury system? What's got you guys excited in the Treasury system?
there's about 1,000 tokens that get me excited every day. So many of them don't even have liquidity yet. I pop a nice fresh one, pop the cherry on a 414 token. I love it.
Yeah, it's really there's it's almost overwhelming in a way. There's so many tokens. Actually, there's so many different children that have been launched off different kinds of parents that Maria's launched. We've got TSFI, No Nukes, Poppy, Metis, USB. There's tons. Parade, Paw. Then you go. There's Teddy Bear, Atropa. There's really there's tons, and like you said, there's no liquidity in a lot of them. Why do you think that is?
So there's a reward system, right? Like, Dev's not here to put all these coins and put a bunch of money into them, have you guys all ape it, sell it, move right into the next one, right? Like, it's just not what Atropa is about. So you make these coins and you can pay attention to how many coins Maria holds back, right? So like, if the mint is 0.00001 MV, right, and that's the total supply, that's also the multiplier on most of these, then like there's probably not a whole lot going on down the road with that. But then you see some of these ones, man, which one was I just looking at? Still had like 50% of the supply. Maybe Hexzilla, I'm not sure. But like some of them, if they mint out like 1 million, right, and they're burning 1 million for MV to mint that, they might put like a 0.0001 into LP, let everyone play with it for a little while, and then they can take, let's say there's one total coin in LP, and then they take 1,000 coins and mismatch it with a bunch of Atropa or something, right? Then it becomes like the game of just who can go and get it first. So like a lot of these Treasury tokens LP ads that you see, they're somebody found with, and then there might be like the one the other day, the last one was like one of the posterity ones. I mean, I think there's about 10 of those, maybe 15, right? But one of the posterity ones, they paired up with $500-600 in MV, and 3 pairs that were paired were all like so tiny, like less than a penny, that our bots didn't even go through to get it. So it actually left a manual go and buy this one thing with like $1 and then go over here and sell it for $600 in one click. It was great.
Yeah. What about you other boys? How are you guys going with the Treasury system? Are you guys as deep into it? I mean, obviously you created it, Yogi, but are you boys as deep into using it as Sunny?
I don't know if I'm as deep as Sunny into it. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities. If you watch Maria's wallet all day, I mean, when Maria sells a token that has a bunch of child tokens to it, they're become profitable to ARB back into the token Maria is selling. So, like when they sell I mean, well, that's gone now, but they were selling WWE for a while, and then you could go and mint all of the WWE child tokens for profit. There's Maria just makes a lot of moves during the day, and you can kind of gouge what you can make profit on with that. It's a good way. There's a lot of coins to pay attention to. So I also have to update the Treasury site to show a little bit more how much liquidity each coin has, how much, because there is a little, we're missing some liquidity on a lot of these coins, but I mean, that's up to community, obviously.
As in, it has liquidity, but it's not showing it as
no, just some of them don't have much liquidity. Like maybe
right.
like I don't know, like $10 to $50 of pulse and liquidity, but obviously it'll get better as time goes on.
Yeah, this was one thing I was thinking about the other day, actually, when I was putting together a Minter video. I think people are really missing some of the big key parts of what the potential of these minters are. So, for example, I know Sunny, the pub has come together to. It was DARPA, that was the teddy bear one, and then there was Strawberry Shortcake, which was the Atropa one, and there was one more, but I forgot what the other one was that the pub has basically got behind.
Yeah, I forget too. It was like 3 of the main ones or whatever. But the Treasury tokens, right? If you want to consider yourself someone that's in the Treasury, right? You're a part of the Treasury. It's not like you're just trying to make some money, right? Like if you're trying to make money, this just isn't the spot, right? But if you're part of the Treasury, right, then when you see these things, you can correct them. And when you correct something, you may make a profit, but you're also fixing a ratio or minting something else, or like you can make profit, the R bar can make profit, and the token price can still be going up or where it's at, or the LPs are making the most profit because you're minting these tokens and you're putting it into LP. But like the people that are providing LP for this, and Yogi's site here is great. You said something early on there. If you used it as much as me, I personally don't use this site. Like I get everything I use off the blockchain, or just through loading it up in my swap and checking ratios, right? Like I tried to use this site, but like there's so many right there that say no LP found, and there's LP found, and then the ratios you go and look, and it's like I mean it's close, but and I get it, Yogi. Like I know where you're pulling your information from and how APIs work, right? Like for 99% of y'all, like this is a great site. It will show you things. It's one-click mint, all that great stuff. For me, I go a little bit deeper. Like I'll spend more gas, right? I'll spend more pulse and gas on a trade as long as I'm getting more of the token that I'm trading worth, right? And then I can take my profit from that and I can put it in the LP. So I might put a tenth of a penny. I might buy a tenth of a penny in like 3 or 4 trades and then add it to an LP, and it might cost me 35 cents by the time I do 2 or 3 trades and an approval and then an LP add, right? So it's like if you just sit there and think about token counts and what these things are going to be in the future, the people that are adding the LP to this are the ones that are going to get paid, right? Because they're multipliers. As it goes up, there'll be more tokens minted and in the LP, right? So if they're 1-to-1 with something, or 32-to-1, or 1,000-to-1, right? If they're staying equal and that number keeps going up, there's more of them in there while the number goes up. So the LP providers are getting more of the token while it's actually going up in value, plus their LP fees. But at that point, that 0.25% is so minimal, it doesn't even matter.
Okay, so
I was like, that was kind of the approach I took. Like, there was a time where it was kind of hard to jump in and really check multipliers, this and that. So for me, the easiest thing was just to mint a bunch or buy some and just LP it. And then when I did get around to it and it was either profitable or was able to buy it up, just buy it up with the thing and then just LP. Basically, there's going to be a curve on it, right? Kind of how these are designed. So, yeah, that's just kind of the way I do that. I'm probably going to try to get more into it now that I have more time. But yeah, I've been, I don't know, I've been hanging out, just enjoying what's going on in the eco right now. Things are fun.
I'll add a little bit to that, right? Like people have to remember, this is for everyone listening, right? Not necessarily directed at Stu or anybody. Every single token in the Atropa ecosystem, right? Thousands of them now, like over 1,000 from Maria in just the Treasury tokens, plus the several hundred from 414 deploys. None of them have value. There is zero buy pressure on anything other than all of us speculating, right? Until there is a game, until there is a business, until there is something, none of this has any worth, right? So like DARPA, for example, it's at 400K now, and it's supposed to be at 1.5 or something, right? Or it's at it's at 577, right? So I think it's got like a 3x to go. So like it only has a 3x to go if DARPA is special powers in the game later, right? Someone's going to want to buy this so that their teddy bear can do whatever the fuck a DARPA is and have that special power for a day in the game, right? And they'll come buy one of these tokens, which right now is nothing. It's a half a penny, right? 0.006. So like if that got up to its price of teddy bear right now, that'd be 1.2, right? Ish. So it'd be like a penny. So if someone wants to use this special feature in the game, they have to come and buy it for a penny, which right now is nothing. But if this gets used 1,000 times or 100,000 times, right? Maybe you can use these 10 at a time. All of a sudden people are coming and buying this 10 cents at a time, right? So like they're buying it, just using it for this game or for something else, not giving a shit that there's an actual multiplier behind it. And then people that understand how this works know that when they're buying it to use it in the game, it's now become worth more than its multiplier. So those of us that have teddy bear can go and buy it with some teddy bear and then sell it and get our 1, 5, 10% difference, whatever that difference may be at any given time.
Yeah, that's definitely an element that probably haven't heard Maria talk about in quite some time, actually, the game component of it. But anyone who's been following the Atropa ecosystem for a long, long time knows that from the early days of the chat log, that's where this is all headed to, some kind of game. So the accumulation of tokens is really the name of the game right now. Like you said, Sonny, just to accumulate as many tokens as you can. Not look at the dollar, look at the token count. That's something that
and it's funny
possibly a lot of
you
people
said something in the pub the other day about waiting for the game to start. And if you think this game hasn't started, you're way behind, right? And it's like there may not be a front end, there may not be a video game, there may not be power-ups, but like there's shit going on that, you know, a lot of people, they'll just never fully understand or even fathom, right? But like those of us that are deep in these trenches, like we understand that, you know, owning this thing and doing it on this contract will open this thing on this contract, and you have to have your LAO over here, and you have to be like, you know, there's math, there's pieces to this that unlock other things that you can now mint, right? And anyone can do it. And once somebody does it, you know, monkey see, monkey do. 4 or 5 people will be like, oh, I'll just follow their tracks and be like, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do all the steps, and then like we're on to the next level, right? And then Maria puts out something else, and you use this to get over here, and you get like there's a lot going on in the background other than just like swapping some tokens, you know?
Yeah, that's the time component of it, which is the most it gives you the greatest reward, right? Really digging into it. But it seems like it can be quite difficult for people to understand or do or know where to start. So I think it's really it's probably one of the more overwhelming things about the Atropa ecosystem, I find. And it's almost like we're now over 2 years into the launch of what are we on the 3rd year? No, we're on the 2nd year, right, of Pulse Chain now. So we're on the 2nd year, over the 2nd year, so 2 years and a few months. So people might feel like, oh, like I'm so far behind, and the Atropa ecosystem's been out for over 2 years and they won't even know where to begin. Like, where would you guys suggest is a good place for people to start, to just begin and just start to learn and start dipping their toes?
Real quick, and then I'll let somebody else go with it. But like for me, 4 years ago, it was intimidating when someone was like, hey, you should buy some SafeMoon. And I had to put money onto Coinbase and then go on to KuCoin, which was some illegal VPN exchange in America. And then I had to get it onto Binance, and then I had to buy the SafeMoon, right? Like it was super intimidating. I'm surprised I didn't get scammed out of my $100 or $300 that I actually put in there, right? But like now 4 years later, off that same, you know, I put 300 in, it went through. The next day it was like $1,000. I was like, what the fuck? So I emptied my bank account for $700. I put $1,000 into crypto 4 years ago. And now I'm sitting here talking to you like, how do you get over intimidation and get started, right? And like the reality is you just have to understand that there's freedom at the end of this tunnel, man. And if you can, you know, like guide is right there in front of you. Like you want to know what 414 did? The Bible's there. It's on the blockchain. The transactions are there. You want to know what I've done? Every transaction's there. Like it's not a secret. It's not anything outside of code, you know? All right. Sorry. I took too long. Somebody else go.
It's honestly, it's there's a lot of hard work, man. I remember, I think it was, I don't know, Maria had launched the Goku coin, like I think what was it? Ice, all the one that could be minted, right? And basically, if you didn't know how to read the blockchain or didn't at least attempt to, and you just started buying coins as they were creating them, you know, a lot of people were getting wrecked, right? Because the problem is you had BFF come in, and the BFF went from, you know, what, like a fucking penny to, you know, $3,000. So now everyone's always trying to speculate what's the next BFF. Well, you know, there's 2,000 coins. So I don't know. It's harder now because you don't know where the next value is going to be and all that stuff. And that's kind of like, I don't know, kind of like the wrong way to look at it. That's why people don't want to take the time to do this, because they don't see the value in it. They don't understand that, like, hey, you know, I'll spend a couple $100 just clicking buttons all day. Might not get me anything, but like maybe you'll learn a shit ton. But like that's not how things work in this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's bringing a couple of questions to my mind. But first of all, Maddie, what's going on, Maddie? And thank you for having a camera, so I'm not the only dude here with the mug. How
Hey,
are you,
man.
bro?
How are you doing? You guys hear me?
Yes, certainly can.
Yeah, man, I got some internet issues. That's why I came too late. I was like waiting for your answers, like where's the StreamYard link, and I just realized there's nothing going on. There's nothing loading. Yeah. It's a price you
Sorry,
pay for being in the jungle.
Yeah, but you're all well? You're all good?
All good, all happy here. Very chill. It's been a while since I streamed or been on any YouTube, but happy to be back. Been kind of in a vacation mode for a couple of months, but it's been a week or so since I'm back, and yeah, man, focused. Anyway, I've kept myself informed, just not being like spreading too much news, so to say. But yeah, man, I've missed the first 10 minutes of you guys talking. I don't know what's been the main topic till now. I wanted just to mention that I'm kind of excited for the Treasury system after a 1-to-1 between Fed and Treasury bill. It's for me pretty essential to get the whole thing really working. What are your thoughts on that? Will this change the 1-to-1, the whole system? Or is it pretty much just, so to say, not that big of a deal for you guys? I think that's something that a lot of people want to hear about.
Yeah, great question. Let's go around. First let's address this question from Claudia. So what's going on, Claudia? It's good to see you in here. She was very excited for this stream. So guys, let's go around one by one. What is the Treasury system to you guys? So let's start from, I don't know if you guys can see, you should be able to see. So from top to bottom, we'll start with Yogi. Yogi, what's the Treasury system to you?
I would consider it possibly a new kind of financial system with arbitrage. It all has to do with arbitrage and ratios. And I think it's kind of hard to just define it in a single sentence, but I would just say, in a general sense, kind of like a new financial system. But I mean, yeah, it's a little too complicated for me to define like that.
I think that's a pretty good definition. What you've just come up with, to be perfectly honest. So yeah,
it's a little general what I'm saying, but
yeah. But I think we can, over time, I think that's a good general definition to begin from for anyone who's watching and anyone who's new. But over time, it's going to become clearer and clearer as this system evolves and gets built out. But I think that's a great starting point. So what about for yourself, Stu? What is the Treasury system?
I think it's kind of like its own Treasury thing. It's I guess I'm not really ready for this question, but it's in the terms of I don't know, like it's kind of like, oh, I might be cutting out. I apologize. It's kind of like Sonny said, like if something's below par, you correct it, or if it's above, then you correct it. So there's all these tokens that can be taken advantage of throughout the whole system. So it's, everyone or anyone can really just be like their own treasury secretary, in a sense of, you can manage your own coins, you create your own coins, you can do this, you can do that with it. We have all the minters that allow you to do different things with coins if you create them a certain way. So I guess that's kind of it.
Great. I love that. I love that it just kind of expands more on the definition that Yogi gave. So what about yourself, Sonny? What is the Treasury system for you?
This is replicating the real world here. It's funny that they don't teach us this stuff in school anywhere in the world. I don't think they don't teach us how to do money. They don't teach us how it works. They don't teach us anything about it. And it's very, very specifically done that way, because otherwise you might find freedom. A treasury is where you take your money, you put it in, and you generally will get something in return in hopes that what you get in return becomes worth more. If it does, great. That's where you made your money. You took a gamble. Everyone made their APR or however the thing made money, right? If it doesn't, then you go and trade it back. You get your 1 for 1, and you can get the initial thing back, right? But the initial thing might have gone down 99%. Who knows? Like, that's a real world thing. Like, the United States has a treasury. We can get treasury bonds, right? We put in money, we get a shit percentage back on the bond. And there's probably not enough actual dollars to back the bond, and we outprint them and inflate them so fast that it doesn't matter. So, like, the treasury system totally is a replication of real world financials. And if you look at the front door, right, treasury bill was the treasury bill, right? It was mintable. It's no longer mintable. The Fed is what will mint it, right? So when you mint the Fed, when the Fed gets above the treasury bill, you'll mint it. We'll be buying and burning treasury bill, essentially, because you can't claim from there. Now, that will make treasury bill fly, right? Because of the buy and burn rate on treasury bill right now. Go look at treasury bill, the holders, right? And you start looking at the holders, and like, yeah, there's a lot of contracts and stuff, LPs rather, but then you start looking at the contracts and you look at how many of these Fed tokens, these children tokens, are starting to become top holders of treasury bill, which is no longer mintable, which Dev doesn't have a huge percent. Like, yeah, still a lot, but like, as they dump that and sell it, that's it's a launch, right? If they still have 20%, then that means there's 20% until we get to the bottom. There's no more sell pressure, and then from there it just goes up. And then again, treasury bill has to have a use one day. The Fed has to have a use. There's got to be buy pressure on it somewhere. But if you go past that, right, and you look at the real world, when you start to get treasuries and bonds and you promise people money, you start to get basically insurance scams. And that's what the FDIC is, okay? Like, I do not know why people keep thinking or buying the FDIC, thinking it's going to do anything. I'll tell you right now, like during this stream in the background, I'm clicking out $9 every 3 blocks from the FDIC because you guys keep buying it. And it's not something that's meant to be bought. It's something that's meant to be minted and sold down to its stable price. All 1,000 of the treasury tokens, they're all stable coins. They all have a price that they should be at, every single one of them. So if you're trying to buy anything in the treasury system and hold it for a profit, one, you can, right? Because there's multipliers. If you buy something at a 10x multiplier and you come back later and it's at 100x and there's liquidity there, cool, you made a 10x, right? Thanks for supporting the game. You can sell that back. It'll go into liquidity, and the liquidity providers will take it from you. You can take your profit. They'll make more. Like, you have to truly understand stable coins in
Oh, I think we just lost Sonny.
I might be going in and out, but
Oh,
yeah.
There we go.
The treasury to me, it's real world financials, and there's every aspect of it. And this is a stream with the secretaries of the treasury. Like, we are the ones that have the voting power because we are the ones that own the coins.
Yeah, very, very in-depth explanation. And turning the minting off for treasury bill, it really made me wonder what the direction of this is, because obviously when it was mintable, it very closely replicates what's happening in the real world, but now it can't be minted, which is very interesting. And then, as you mentioned, the way to quote unquote mint it is through the Fed, because basically you're going to be minting Fed against the treasury bill, but it doesn't go the other way around, which is really interesting. So I just wonder how that dynamic plays out with this ecosystem and what it means for this ecosystem. So go on, Sonny, you were going to say something?
Well, yeah. So like, if you start to look at that and the Fed, I honestly thought it'd be years before it was renounced. I thought it was going to be used as the way to keep the ratios, because that's basically what it was doing, right? If a ratio was too high, you sell that token. If it was too high, the treasury bill, which is just even sucks from all the other tokens, right? And you take it out of that economic energy from all, from 100 LPs 1% at a time rather than a full-blown blow, right? So the Treasury bill, you could totally mint and move and buy things, and it just barely even noticed it. So for it to be renounced was huge, and like I was super stoked when that happened. It was down at the bottom, grabbed more, whatever, blah blah blah. I mean, I don't even have a whole lot right now. Like for me, there's no reason to hold a lot of Treasury bill because one, the Fed still has a 2x to go, so why would I hold it when I can 2x all of my Treasury bill, right? And then most of mine's in LP anyway, because that way when I do get to the top, it's all in Treasury bill already. I'm making a killer APR because there's tons of volume flowing through that pair. And if those tokens are needed later, right, for whatever I need them for, I just pull them out of the LP. But for right now, there's no buy pressure on anything, and people really need to understand that all of Atropa, there's just like only our speculation. You know, it's the same as PDI, man. Like, and you watch PDI, man. A lot of those people, they don't care about the code, they don't care about math, they don't care about anything. It's just PDI to dollar, right? And there's people in Treasury tokens in Atropa that don't care about any of it, or just, you know, Atropa to dollar on top of PDI, like.
Yeah, there's definitely, it introduces a whole new aspect to cryptocurrency, a whole new layer of complexity, the whole Atropa ecosystem, and that's definitely been something that I've loved and thrived on. But it's also been like a challenge, this puzzle to solve. And I think that, you know, all the guys in here right now, we're all really deeply interested in solving this puzzle, whatever this is. And some of us get it more than others, but it's not your just buy, wait for a pump and sell kind of an ecosystem. And I think that's something that I find very attractive about it, because it keeps certain people out, or like, yeah, and it attracts other types of people in, which is what I really like. So, and then finally, Maddie, what's the Treasury system for you?
Well, I mean, pretty much everything has been said already. I agree that it's kind of mimicking the Treasury system of the US, like trying to mimic that, obviously differently than it's working 100%, but it's also kind of obviously not the same. In the same time, what I'm looking at is like, as soon as there is a one-to-one between Fed and Treasury bill, actually Treasury bill, since it's renounced, becomes deflationary, and the whole thing kind of gets into a second phase or third phase, whatever you want to call it. Again, I have said 100 times what Sunny has said too in several occasions: don't buy FDIC. I don't know why people are guessing it could go one-to-one with Fed. It won't ever, as you can mint it for gas, and that's where it should be pretty much. What Sunny says, I mean, it's the same with MB. There's several so-called stable coins that should be on a gas level with an arbitrage. But since people speculated on, it's kind of their own fault if they lose money in there. But that's why I also say, if you try to make a ratio trade right now, that is perhaps a good idea, in my opinion, is to have Fed, go for a one-to-one, get your Treasury bill, see that will fly, perhaps it will fly, like Sunny says. I'm agreeing that it looks pretty good for it once that happens. And then you might take that and again ratio trade it into another thing in the Atropa system. You know, try to multiply your coins rather like that, and try to mint stuff that you don't really understand 100%. I'm not saying don't go and use the Yogi's page. I think it's great that it exists, but I think it's for the people who have the time for it and want to really learn about it. The people that don't want to spend that time on it, it's still interesting to see Treasury bill as very undervalued, in my opinion. But not saying that's going to fly tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think I feel kind of really responsible for perhaps the narrative of the one-to-one with FDIC. And yeah, I mean, I think I was probably potentially the first one to talk about it, and it really came from a lack of understanding. It was a speculation, but I feel like the narratives really took off, and it's not to FUD. It's really just to see it as it is. My understanding of it has changed since then. So then also the way that I'm talking about it has changed since then. So it doesn't mean that I think FDIC is not going to pump. I think somebody here, for example, is asking it being tied to PLS, would it cause a price to pump with it or not? Yes, it's all Hart's law. It would cause it to, but the reality of it being one-to-one with Fed, it's a very like it's not.
Coco, like if we go back, right, Pulse Chain didn't exist before Pulse Chain. None of this has ever been done, let alone Atropa being done on top of it and taking economic power from P stables, right? So like all of us thought PDI was going to peg. All of us thought this was going to happen. Like I thought FDIC, fuck me and Stu and Iron, we thought we were instant billionaires when we figured that motherfucker out and thought that shit was going to it. Like, yo, by the time it pegs and then it goes to $1, like, bro, I got $1 billion, and now it's like, dude, I'm literally sitting here minting trillions of them, right? And like, there does become a point. It's versus gas, and right now it's like 9x the gas price for us big guys, right? Like, we can spend 10,000, 12,000 or whatever pulse on gas right now and just click out 100,000 pulse, right? So like, we're gonna keep doing it forever. There's no like, it's literally what's meant to happen. The system is working as intended, right? As gas goes up, yeah, FDIC can go up, but like if gas went up that far, your versus pulse is just not going to be worth it in the end of the day, right? So like, yeah, you can still buy it low and sell it high later, but it's not going to be worth it. If anything, it's an LP play, because as you mint out the FDIC, they go in there, and then FDIC eventually, much like we saw with BAR, there's a mathematical number, right? Like the LPs will fill up, and then FDIC won't be sellable anymore. So it doesn't matter if you have a 10x or not. You could have a 100x, right? If you can't sell it, it doesn't matter. And then things like the SODT POR, I think that's the FDIC minter. Then you have to start going into those. And that's if you have all these FDIC and now you can buy gajillions of them for pennies. The only way to do anything with them is to mint them out for cheaper, right? Move into the next Treasury token. And, like if I cared or had the time or really wanted to, like as a community effort, you could start a multiplier, like start one of these tokens, a V4, and you'd have to do it with a pretty good high number. You have to burn, 10 million MV or whatever, but like you could pull LUSD out of the mud, right? Now the minters would start minting it again, but as long as you had buy pressure on the Treasury token, you could keep multiplying it and putting those tokens elsewhere, because what it is you're putting the tokens on a contract, and you can put as many tokens as you want on a contract. It's the actual, like that's your max number of tokens in an LP right there. That base amount, that's the most you can fit in an LP.
Look at this. Holy shit. There's heaps with BAR now. Wow.
Right. So like there's a couple down there, like those four gajillion ones or whatever. You'd be able to sneak like that dismissed right there, right? You'd be able to sneak almost a gajillion of them in there. And that's probably a penny right now. Who knows? But like you could do that, and then you could take that dismissed and go and mint or use it for a claim, right? So you go and mint your other one, claim it was dismissed from the BAR. And you could do that through, I think, just what's that, amnesty maybe? I don't know. Like each one's got its own thing, right? So it's like even these ones that are way down here and these LPs are full, they still have value because that's as many as you can put in an LP, but you can put an endless amount on the contract and then continue to mint the next one.
Right. You're talking about, because you mentioned earlier, launching like a V4 minter off it. So that's what you mean by continuing to mint out this supply and then basically burning it to contracts, minter contracts.
Right. Like BAR. I don't think you can't sell BAR right now, but
right.
There are like dismissed, its parent is BAR, right? I think amortization might have been official. There's a few of them. Safety, like there was, there's the 414 launched, 50 or whatever BAR children, if I remember proper.
I think it was like 27.
Yeah, so whatever, right? So like knowing BAR would fill up first in LPs, that's why there's so many children, right? And then the children, because you can mass mint so many, they'll fill up in LPs. right? And then you'll have to use the children in the next level. Now, all of that again is like, is safety going to be a token that's needed in the game? And you have to think about too, what, like, let's say safety gives you safety for 1 second, right? So let's say somebody's like, oh, I want safety for a whole year. Like, oh, okay, that's a trillion tokens, right? They can go buy a trillion of these tokens, probably for a penny, right? And use them. They'd put it on some other contract and get their superpower, essentially burning those tokens, and allow a little bit of trade or arbitrage to happen there again. Essentially, like early on, Maria was thinking this would all be automated, and I'm surprised no one has really automated it yet. A few people have on some of the bigger ones. There's definitely bots that just keep it, that they know to go check the multiplier, check the math, and see if they can go and mint a token and sell it, right? They're doing the loop on their own on a couple of the big ones.
Wow.
But
Nice.
once someone figures it out and just plugs in all 1,000 of these contracts with their parent, with run every LP, like, it's a fucking lot. But every time it does it, it's just good. It's not even a trade, right? It's just a profitable mint. It's a profitable arbitrage that anyone can do anytime right now. Like, I don't know if I'm cutting in or out, but if you go look at Burst, it's called Burst, BURST, the ticker's OOH, versus the Fed, right? And you can load up 10,000 O into 10,273 Fed, right? So you can make 2.73% on a click right now in Fed, make 273 Fed. Now that's not much, it's 4 cents, right? But this isn't about making dollars. This is about, I just got 206 more Fed, right? So now I can take that and split it in half with my O and go and put 2 cents on both sides, and I have 4 cents in my O Fed LP, right? And now I'm making an APR on my Fed because those are 1-to-1 until 1 million, 1.1 million get minted, and then it'll go to 2-to-1. But below that 1.1 million, it's a 1-to-1, and you can claim it as well, right? So like, I can buy O with Fed if it goes the other way, and then just take the O and claim back the Fed off the contract that's been minted. There is any on there.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big part of the dynamic that, again, I think people are possibly missing, is the liquidity providing and the token thing. And that's something that I really like about what you talk about a lot, Sonny. And I think it's a mindset shift, and it's something that is, I feel, quite unique. Well, actually very unique to the Atropa ecosystem. You're becoming a custodian of the system. You're becoming the system. You're not becoming an extractor of the system, which is basically everything in crypto prior to this point. Like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to go here and wait for people to pump my bags, and then I'm going to sell and then go on holidays for 3.5 years. Like what Sami was saying is like, that was really brilliant. I thought that was such a great comment. Everybody's just waiting for somebody to come and pump their bag, and then they're going to go and retire for 3.5 years and come back and do the whole thing again. Like, is that really what this is? Is that really a new financial system? I don't think so. It's really just a faster Ponzi than everything else on the planet. But this here, this whole Atropa ecosystem, this decentralized financial system that looks like it's being built out, really incentivizes different kinds of behaviors. It doesn't have that kind of, it does have that within it of just buying, holding, and selling. But this whole treasury system it's a whole different way of thinking about crypto. And it's thinking about token counts rather than dollar values. And it's thinking about liquidity rather than just buying and holding. I think it's something that's completely unique, and something that I keep trying to talk about and emphasize within the ecosystem, within the community. So I guess I don't know what to say in terms of, a lot of this stuff is very quote unquote advanced. And so I just wonder, I asked the question earlier, where can people get started? And I just wonder, does anybody have a good suggestion for where someone might get started within the Treasury system, for example, or the Fed or Treasury bill, or even really the Atropa ecosystem, where can somebody get started? If you've got 2.5 years behind you, you mentioned earlier, Sonny, that you can just start looking on the blockchain, but some people might not even know how to do that. And I guess I don't feel like we can go that basic and beginner, but if somebody's in crypto and they're a holder, like where could they start in this ecosystem? What do you guys see as being a good starting point in this ecosystem?
I don't really watch anything. I don't really know a whole lot. Like I do it all on my own, right? So when people ask me that, I always send them one place, and it's to your channel, Steve. Like you lay it out, you put it out there in 1,000 different clips, and every one of them just goes over, like, granted it gets too a lot, no one can sit there and watch, 500 hours of clips, right? People have lives, but like they can click and search the one they want and watch it and get a pretty good idea from what you've got going on. So shout out to you for that, man. Like you're definitely a hub for this.
Yeah, thanks, Sonny. I guess that's something I need to work on as well in terms of I'm trying to currently build out the playlists, and Ironclad is here. Yeah, I'm trying to what's going on, Ironclad?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. I'm just catching up.
Bro, is this your first time streaming?
Yes, first time on YouTube. Yeah. Very nice.
Damn. What an honor. What's going on, man? How are you?
Doing great. How about you guys?
I'm great.
I think we're all fantastic.
Good.
All good, all good.
Ironclad, what's a Treasury system to you, man?
It's kind of hard to put into, I don't know. It's kind of hard to sum up, I would say, but I would say what Maria is doing is he's slowly, of course, he's burning Fed with all these things that we're making, or he's burning Treasury bill. But we're trying to burn Fed now, of course. What I'm trying to do is with the knots, the knot stack or whatever, how you pronounce it. But I guess with these minters, we're slowly just putting the supply. We're just, we're pushing it downhill, of course. But I would say the biggest thing that I'm trying to do is push knot stack, because like it's Fed's biggest burning token so far, and we've put a ton of it into it. But we did start like a little, you could call it, I guess, a stock exchange. I did V3 minters off of it and just made all kinds of different tokens that are kind of copies of the big
Ironclad. Can I just
Yeah.
pause you for 1 second, just so people have context here in their mind as you're describing this out? So, I'm just going to say NASDAQ. NASDAQ has 148,000 in liquidity, and NASDAQ started off just like every single one of these treasury system tokens with nothing in it. And now with the community behind it, building it up, it's got 148,000 in liquidity. So it's a minter. So sorry, can you just continue? So just so people are aware of what it is and where it's come from.
Yeah, when it first launched, Maria, he did Knot Stack, and then there was a couple others that was like, it was like a weird launch. But we ended up burning, I don't know, it was like 8 billion Fed into there. You can call it burning, but I don't know if it's not necessarily burnt, but it's sitting on the contract. But there's 8 billion Fed sitting in there. So, yeah, sometimes I wish I could get that back, but it's good to push it downhill, kind of what we're doing. It's like, and that's what I see Maria doing with all these mentors. Like he's just launching constantly, off of basically everything that he's ever, put out there. So that's just kind of what I see is going on. But there is a bigger scheme that Maria knows that I don't think we all know,
Right. And yeah, can you tell us what kind of things? So you guys have burnt 8 billion. So I just try and explain this as though, I mean, obviously if people are here, hopefully they're a little bit more advanced, but I mean, I understand what you mean by burning, but what were you doing by burning those? You were basically minting the nod stack, right? And then what were you doing from there? So you were minting the nod stack, let's call it NASDAQ, just so we're all on the same page, because
Yeah.
nod is
We'll just call
hard
it
to
NASDAQ. Yeah.
So NASDAQ, you were burning Fed to mint NASDAQ because it's a V3 minter or a V4 minter, NASDAQ?
Yeah, it's a V4.
It's a V4, right? So it has a multiplier that goes up when the initial supply ends up getting minted. It gets a +1 to mint. So what were you guys then doing with the NASDAQ? How were you building this up were you just continuously putting it in liquidity? Were you strategic in the way you were bonding the liquidity? Were you bonding it with different kinds of tokens? Were you strategic in that, or was it just kind of random and experimenting? Do you want to go through that process?
It was kind of random at first because it was the first V4. So we didn't necessarily know what to do at the beginning. Slowly, I have put it into the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, which is these V3 minters. But basically made a V3 off NASDAQ so that we can have kind of a bigger arbitrage thing going on back there. Been random, but it's also like you got to pair it up to the parent, so there's a good, Fed liquidity there. And then I kind of fumbled it at the beginning and didn't pair it up to when when Fed was really pumping. So yeah, there was a little bit of a fumble there, but it's doing great, I think. So
I think it's fantastic, man, what you guys have done. I'm in the Telegram chat. I have to say, I don't interact too much in there. It's very difficult to keep up with all the different Telegram chats, but I think it's just brilliant that you, as basically an agent of the Fed, have a Treasury secretary, have come along and really put your time and energy behind this. And just to see that it's gone from nothing to 148,000 in liquidity, and we're at the bottom. We're really at the token lows at the moment in terms of US dollar value. So I just think this to me is what's really, really exciting about this whole Treasury system. It's like any community can get behind anything here and work together to basically build your positions together. It's this thing that Sonny always talks about, which it was like this big light bulb moment for me with everything on Pulse Chain. It's like we don't have to be PvP anymore. We can be PvE. And when I heard that, it was like, holy shit, like this idea changes everything for me in crypto. That's everything that I was searching for in crypto. I don't want to basically be battling everybody else and it's a zero-sum game. This is a whole different game where we can build the liquidity positions together. We can just take out bits and pieces over time as the arbitrage bots continue to fill it up, as liquidity continues to flow throughout the system. The whole mindset shift, the whole way that we can work together is like completely unique and so very exciting. So I think that to me is like the community aspect behind the Atropa ecosystem is one of the most misunderstood aspects of it, I feel. And that's why I'm trying to do these streams, the Atropa movements, because I really want people to really start thinking about this from a consciousness perspective, from a community perspective, and how we can work together to win together. So I think what you've done with NASDAQ is just, I mean, this is phenomenal, man. This is really, really phenomenal. And this is just one example. And how old is NASDAQ? Probably like less than a year old. I mean, this is brilliant.
yeah, and it's not just me that was in it. Stu and Sonny, and then LT, he's made some V4s off of NASDAQ as well to burn NASDAQ. So it's definitely a huge collective.
Yeah, and just there, right? So there's all these different strategies for making the supply deflationary, and buying and burning and tax tokens. Like everybody's working together to bring all these different elements of DeFi and cryptocurrency. And it's almost like we're all just kind of working it out as we go. And that's what's so thrilling about it as well. There's no clear answer. It's not like everyone's sort of got an idea about where this could head, but there's like this spirit of discovery and invention and creativity and exploration that I find just so thrilling. And people are figuring different things out at different times. So it's really just wonderful. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything to this or yeah. No?
I will say real quick, like the people may hear a lot of us stumble when we say that these tokens are burned to the contract, and for a lot of them, for all the V1s, they are. The V2s, V3s, and V4s are one or another. If you look at something like DARPA, right, it's at like 1,000,000 to 1 on the multiplier. So you could go and buy you could go and buy one DARPA and go to the contract and trade it for one teddy bear, but you would lose 577 million to 1 of your value, right? So I do it myself, and I hear it in a lot of us. We hiccup and we say, yeah, they're burned to the contract. They're not burned to the contract. They are claimable at a 1-for-1, but this would literally have to go down 577 million to 1, right? And there's just not enough tokens to actually do that. So like for anyone to go and claim those tokens would do so at a horrible, horrible loss, right? So, but you do also have to be aware of the owner of the contract being able to remove those tokens. So let's say the parent that's on there, whatever teddy bears on DARPA, essentially, I forget what exactly the steps are you take, but the dev 414 could go in there and click whatever button and kind of like, I think they basically give up their ownership or their right to claim on it or something. And then they can just take whatever teddy bear is actually on the contract off.
Okay, so in the process of claiming those tokens off the contract, they would at the same time renounce their ability to do that. Is that what you're saying?
To be honest, like all this stuff started in January. I don't exactly remember. I don't know if Stu or Iron, if you remember kind of the path this walks down as far as claiming goes as ownership. Like we went through, we did it once. I've never claimed back or done it since, right? I know those tokens are stored there for later. And as the person that made the coin, you have that's what the withdraw button is.
So I remember with the V1s, the whole claiming thing was like you could do the like there was obviously a trick to being able to claim and then calling debenture, then using it as a parent. But I know as we kind of went along from like so like V1 was like a free for all. V2 was, I think, basically like you had to fall in line with your child could only claim like that parent that was created by this person. So like Maria creating a bunch of tokens under one thing could create a tree, and you could select a few of them. I think they did that with what's that one? It's Universe or I forget what it's called.
WWE and all of the official Aardvark, official Tiger, there's like 100 of them with animals.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of those that you can use, and then there's I think so even when we went through the V3 and the V4, I think it came down to it that I don't know if they would. I think it had something to do with the debenture. I had to go through it again because I'm not sure if they were able to claim those tokens off the contract or not. Or I think in the event that I think maybe they could, and we were just like, well, if they do it one day, that's their payday, and it is what it is because this will be all set up to do that. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna have to go through and look at that. But yeah, it's been a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, I want to say maybe the V4s fixed that because that was obviously the insurance fraud. That was the way that V1s got scammed out, and that was intentional. Like, and then the V2s changed it and fixed it, and then V3 came out. But yeah, it's been so long since we messed around with trying to claim back and then doing those, and a lot of them too, right? So like the official Aardvark and the official right? So you can go and buy the official. I'm sorry. Let's say somebody has minted one of those coins, right? So there's WWE on any of those official Aardvark Arbitrage, Alpaca, whatever, right? If there's WW on that contract, I can take the official Aardvark coin and go to the official Alpaca coin contract and claim back the WWE 1-to-1 with any of those other ones that have this WWE as the same parent that were launched by the same wallet.
Ah, I didn't know this. Okay, so it's like a... Okay, all right.
So it becomes more like V1. Like I said, it was a free for all. Anyone can kind of screw with Maria's contract. Didn't matter who owned what. And as you kind of go down the road from V1 to V2, 3, and 4, it obviously gets a lot tighter with what you're able to do. And I guess kind of like the whole claiming process after I think V3 and V4 is basically not profitable to do so. Where V2, there is, I think, a little bit of a workaround. Where V1, obviously, there is the claim workaround.
Right, got you.
Because I think it was funny. I remember we were able to figure out the V2, and because there was a multiplier of I think 1,000,000,1111111. Basically, you minted to that amount, and if you kind of were able to do the math and create another child token, you were able to kind of still collect from that without actually losing stuff. You just had to note that the multiplier existed, so whatever you're putting in, it's gonna have to be, you're gonna have to get it back. It was hard to figure out, but like it was not worth the time to do it, almost in a way, because if you kind of screwed it up past the multiplier, well, then you lost a lot of money or time and tokens. Because I remember I tried to do it once, and I'm like, yeah, I'll never do this again. It's a waste of my time, but it was fun to do.
Yes, I feel like that's definitely part of what's going on here as well. There's kind of a cost to working this out, but I don't know. I feel like that's part of the fun, and I feel like that's, to the victor go the spoils in a way. So, and I think that's why you guys are doing so well in this ecosystem, because you're actually taking the time to learn these things and press the buttons and figure it out and take the little losses, but also then, you take the little losses, you learn something, and then eventually it turns into big wins. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, it was more, like we knew there was something at the end of the tunnel. There maybe was a prize, but it was just a lot of fun trying to grind through the code and figure out like what every function did, what you're able to do, and basically it was, as we figured out one, there was another puzzle and another puzzle, and then eventually they figured out, they being Maria, kind of call us guinea pigs. We kind of went out, figured out exactly how we could break these things, and when we finally couldn't break them, he said, okay, I got my final product. And then I think even then you still did the fine tuning. So that's where you got your V4 now. The V4 is your final product. V1 basically is your experiment, and then find your loopholes as you kind of work through. But they've almost had this kind of broken down for a while, so it's been fun.
Yeah, I feel like the whole development of the system has been an experiment slash just like an evolution on, like an iteration on what there was. And it's almost like either Maria had this big picture of where this is headed and knows this is what it's going to be, or has a vague idea or a rough idea and is basically with the community has been working things out bit by bit. I mean, just like you said, V1 to V2 to V3 to V4, they're all like iterations and evolutions on what the previous thing is. And it's almost like Maria's been teaching us what it means to burn to a contract and what it means to mint a token, and then, okay, what does it mean to claim it back, and then what does it mean to have a multiplier? It's almost I feel like there's these lessons as it goes along in a way.
Well, and it's kind of funny because like one of the biggest ones is basically when there was me, Sonny, and Clad, and there was a fourth person when the Fed had got minted in such a large amount, and we were able to claim a bunch of it. We had all the LPs set, meaning the three of us, and I think the one person sold their whole bag in one quick, and then just in that one get-go, we basically, the three of us, controlled the whole thing, and were able to do what we wanted with it. So like, we were, and obviously it helped having Maria's help with it too, and the confidence behind it, knowing that like, hey, we're the top holder. We want to see this kind of succeed as well. And I think that was something where when I had talked with them through email about that, it was okay, like I think we kind of have shown that like maybe we had that responsibility. Like, if the mass is there, yeah, it's like the chart's going to get minted and sold down. We're not dumping on anyone. That's just code. It's one thing to dump a chart for no reason out of emotion, but like, there's ways to sell without making the chart look like shit. So we know how to take profit without, burning everything down, but we also over time have kind of learned how to build things up. And this has kind of been a really nice thing to see. It's really nice to see, like, I guess the fruit of your labors at the end of the day, right? And everyone played a part. That's kind of it, like yourself. Everyone's been able to kind of buy into it and know that like the people behind it and maybe the people that are holding X amount are doing the right thing with it and have the right intentions. And at the end of the day, we want to see everyone win because it's if everyone's losing, then I'm losing. And that's kind of just how it is in this ecosystem. The ecosystem's down and everyone's down. So winning system, everyone's happy, right?
Yeah, it almost adds in this. I mean, crypto is supposed to be trustless, right? But in the way that the code works and in the way that you can even look at the contracts and what's burnt here, like even going to the V4s, for example, and okay, well, you have this amount of tokens that are burnt to the contract, and then to claim it back 1-to-1 doesn't make any sense when you can, like, you're basically going to be losing money. So then there's this kind of like implicit trust that's being built into the system.
Well, and you have to remember too, there's also like you see Maria selling tokens down and people go, well, why are they dumping these tokens? Well, it's like they're getting them out of their wallets to go in LP. And now I think, for example, I don't know how much lilies they have left or they don't have any at all, but they sold a lot of lilies today for Bitcoin. So now they were the top holder of lilies by far. Now then, I think the next closest holder after that was like 40, and they had 840 something. So if you become the top holder of a coin, you don't have to worry about anyone dumping on your head if that coin goes up. So that's kind of like there's a purpose to buy the dip when Maria gets rid of their coins, because once they're out of those coins, there's no one else left to dump on your head unless it's for a loss, or if someone got it like a lot sooner, it helps with the process. But like that's kind of the game of buy here, sell here, take your percentage where you can get it, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we're kind of at the point now where in this stage of Pulse Chain where if people dump certain things, well, anyone can revive anything as long as it's not mintable or exploitable, but like any coin can be revived, and especially now that you have the minters, you can burn everything a lot faster. And just obviously maybe as things get bigger, more communities build around doing this and stuff like that, and people see the value in it. But like for now, we're just a little guy, so it's gonna take some time.
Opposite to being the little guy, let's talk about Fed. Going back to Fed a little bit more here. So obviously, I think there's probably, you guys are probably some of the biggest holders with the Fed, and so what's going on in the Fed? Is there any new things that are happening in the Fed? Is there anything that you've heard from Maria? What's everybody's take on the Fed these days?
Okay, so I honestly, I asked before I came on stream, I emailed them and said, hey, is there anything you want me to say? And they just said, all is good. That's it. And then just asked for this, they asked for the stream link before we started, so I sent that over. But yeah, it just seems like everything's going as planned. I haven't really been paying any of the stream, but like I think would they mention something of a Fed crypto house or something like that?
Oh,
You'd have to go through, I think, the pub. If you look that up, I think they had mentioned something like that. So and listen, we've all been kind of away, everyone's been kind of, summer, right? And it's a whole new ball game now to what's gonna happen, what goes on, because it's kind of like it was last year. It's just brand new season, right? Brand new season, Pulse Chain. Episode 1 starts, today, right? Whatever you want to call it. So what's
I
this
heard,
season gonna bring?
I saw someone in the pub mention this. Well, it would be earlier today for you guys, but yeah, something about if you had $1 million USD worth of the Fed or something, you could stay at this house for free or something. Is that?
Yeah. And Maria said that, and he said, but only if there's no competition for the room. That's what he said. That's really funny. And it's going to be in Seattle. That's the only thing that I saw that is kind of important, is the place, the office / building / perhaps recording studio. Who knows what Maria's up to? Sounds interesting. Definitely for people around there. I am. Steady Pub might move in, huh? You're already a millionaire in Fed, Steady?
Anyone want to be roomies, Sonny? The whole the whole floor would just be filled with empty Nang canisters. Oh,
I just need a plug out back. I'll live in my trailer.
Oh, but yeah, is this Fed house? What is this? What have you guys heard of this? I mean, the last I'd heard about any kind of like building about this, I think I heard maybe there was an office or something that Maria was going to get. I don't know when I heard that. That was like months and months ago. Is this the same thing or?
Honestly, who knows, man? It's one of those things too. I remember they wanted to stream like someone working out and would pay them in Fed to work out like every day, something like that, and like that actually sounded like it would be pretty fucking cool. But
Working out, like going to the gym.
Yeah, like working in the office, no?
I thought it was both. I honestly thought there was a gym element and then there was an office element. Maybe honestly, maybe I read that completely wrong.
Dude, I think he was talking about the office, not about the gym, but
fuck, okay. So I honestly thought he said something about a gym, but yeah. Anyways, but like I was like, yeah, it'd still be fucking dope as shit.
He did say something about a gym, but that was I think that office fell through because of the LA riots. I think it was around that time. And so, yeah, there was supposed to be a gym in it to train. There was studio for recording. But I think this Atropa house is different than that. That was supposed to be in LA, and the Atropa house is in Seattle. So I think it's different. But
that's hilarious. He's gonna have the Atropa house and the Fed house. We're gonna have our own Jersey Shore crypto episode or show.
He did drop me an email link to a Zillow listing over in Bellevue, Washington. I just posted it in the chat, but it's a $4.6 million mansion. So
he's just casually spending 12 mil. I love that.
Do you guys know what okay, so the Fed, when I heard about the Fed office a while ago, I also took it like Maddie. I took it to be somewhere where people can be working on code related to the Atropa ecosystem, related to the Fed, basically designing front ends and websites and whatever. That's how I took it. So it had like a use case for the blockchain, for the crypto. So it's basically converting the profits into something that's putting back into the community. This Atropa house that you guys have heard of, does it have any component like that, or is it just a place to come and hang out and sleep or rent?
I think James just wants friends, man.
Yeah, I imagine he would be very lonely with this whole Atropa ecosystem, and building this whole system out wouldn't. It seems like it would occupy a hell of a lot of time.
I mean, it's everything, and you literally can't talk to anybody about it. You know, like there's 3 people I can right now. Like,
What's that, Sonny? You broke up there. There's 3 people
in this chat that I can talk to about this stuff that, start to understand it, right? Like,
yeah.
Imagine being the one making it,
Yeah, exactly. It would be very lonely. It would be very lonely. So paying the weed bill for the Atropa house would be a true test of the Atropa system.
It already is.
Oh, big
All
time.
being extracted. All being extracted.
And the weed's really good.
Couple of bugs with the boys. Dear.
Hey, it's 420 somewhere.
That's it. So yeah, okay. So let's go into where you guys thinking this is all headed to. So I mean, all right. So we heard from Stu with the Fed. Do you guys, any of the other guys, have anything that you've heard about the Fed or the direction of the Fed? Obviously, the big goal at the minute is 1-to-1. It seems to be. I mean, I've drawn these trend lines here. It seems to be, if you're just a trader of charts, it's respecting this particular trend line here quite. I mean, basically since April, it's been respecting this trend line. So besides trading the chart and the whole 1-to-1, how are you guys seeing the Fed? Is there any insight that you can offer to people that are listening about what the Fed is, its role, any perspective that can help sort of click some dots and connect some dots in people's minds?
Yeah, click on the holders list of Treasury bill and see who the top holder is. Like, that'll get people starting to wonder what Fed's doing and what it really is.
I think I saw it before. It was like 60% or something. 65%. 65.33%. So that's the Fed and Treasury bill LP, and then the next one is old mate with 19% of the supply almost.
So if you want, take the Treasury bill and load it up into the Beehive. Much Treasury bill this is going to buy and burn, and what tokens it's going to take with it.
All right, so we're loading up Treasury bill right here into the Beehive, right? The block.
I don't know if you use Fern's spine tracker or not, but I've been using that for a lot of the Treasury token stuff, looking for the actual spine, not so much the price or whatnot, but just parent to children. I like his layout.
Which one? I think I've got that one saved up here somewhere.
Spine tracker Vercel app.
Let me see if I've got it here. Yeah, here we go. I don't think I've really
that
used
one. Click visit library, and you can sort by, but I think it's like there's right now it's on Show Maria in V3 and V4, and it pulled up a list of 520. There's 972 total in the library, and this is a list of 520 that Maria's made. You can then sort by parent name, child name, token name, and if it has that little leaf in the middle, you can click on that. Just click on that one. It'll pop open a new window, and it'll populate in that string And if it's got ratios, it'll show you the ratios. It's pretty cool, man.
Sorry to hop in a second. Muddy, great commentary.
Muddy's always got great commentary. Yeah, this was made by Fern, right? This one? This spine tracker?
I think so.
Fern.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, man? I love the fact that when all this started, like I kind of remember you were asking a lot of questions about it, Steve, and just like this is mainly where it is because you've been able to teach a lot of people how to do it. So like give yourself a pat on the back for being able to show a lot of people how to do this and give people the interest, because like I was kind of low-key blown out of like, I don't know, I was blown away with how many people were able to catch on, how many people liked it, how many guys were making things to help it. Like, you know, it was kind of really nice to see some guys really kind of take command on that one. So kudos to yourself, man, on that.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. But I really do feel like it's kind of like a feedback loop, right? I think people that are making stuff is also motivating me as well, because it's like there's a life here. If it was just me talking and nothing's happening, it would be like, you know, there's like this, yeah, but I appreciate that. But it's definitely like this community vibe that I really love. So, but thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, shout out to Yogi too for making the DApp. Made it a lot easier.
The Treasury system from Yogi, you mean?
Yep. Thank you.
Yep, definitely, man. I appreciate it a lot because I said before it's pretty complicated for people to get into it, and now it's definitely a lot easier than it has been before.
Man,
Yeah.
that was sorry. I was just saying that Yogi, you're another one, man. That you did the work, you took control, man, and kudos to you. You killed it.
Agreed.
Yeah. I was just happy to make something that people could look at and understand what's actually going on in the system. And so I'm very happy with how everything turned out.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of just trying, just clicking some buttons. I think like Fox Futures said here, yeah, you need to play and press all to buttons, learn and create an image of it in your mind. Sonny told them again. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with this. There's no free lunch in the world, but it takes time to learn, yes, but the best way is to just interact with it. It can kind of feel overwhelming. I'd have to agree. Like, I know that there's going to be a lot of resistance in people's minds, even coming to this website. It's like, oh, there's all these tokens, there's all this thing going on here. But I really feel like the overwhelm in a person's mind will come from, because humans, our mind is like path of least resistance. Humans want to preserve energy to maximize our rewards. That's just the way that the mind works. I want minimum effort for maximum reward. So when I look at this, I'm going to be like, oh, you know, what can I click with the least amount of effort to give me the most amount of gains? But it's almost like you have to fight against that element of yourself, that element of greed in your mind, and just go, you know what? I'm just going to spend $5 or $10, just clicking some buttons. Just what's this? Final orders, Dr. Ya Goat. Get in there with your boys. Just start playing with what this means. What is final order? Click mint. What's going on here? All right, what do? I can mint a token. Okay, what's the parent token? Then have a look at what this token is. Go and compare it. At the moment, this is a V3, so it's always going to be 1-to-1, but just start playing around with it with the boys. Just get a group of your friends and start learning together. Create a Telegram group or a Discord group and just literally start trying. It's almost like people are trying to figure out what the optimum solution is without even just trying. And I think just spending a few hours just trying is like it's very rewarding as well on yourself, because even from a mindset perspective, when you like you're growing as an individual just by doing that. Even if you can look at it from that perspective, rather than it, like even just take crypto out of the equation, when you can do something that is like stressful and hard, it's a very rewarding thing when you figured it out at the end. Like I know, putting together the Minter videos, for example, it's they take a long time to do, but it's really like it's kind of stressful in a way when I'm putting them together. But once I've done it and the result is there, it's like, yes, I overcame myself just to do this thing, and it's like really rewarding. And then people appreciate it, and everybody's learning together, and then there's that extra reward. So I just can't encourage enough this idea of just trying. I think, yeah, I really just can't encourage that idea enough, especially with this whole system. There's this whole field here for us to practice with and play with. And like Pulse Chain hasn't even really gone through a full bull market. I mean, what happens when all of this, what happens in 2 or 3 cycles time when Pulse Chain's gone through 2 or 3 bull markets? Are you going to look back on this and go, damn, I wish I just clicked those buttons. I wish I just spent one weekend with the boys to just try and figure this out. Just one weekend. That's all it could have taken, if you think about it from that perspective. So yeah,
Man,
I'm
I'll
saying
add to that.
encourage people. Again, going back to what Stu said, it's a community thing. It's like you figuring it out, and then maybe you figure something out that we haven't seen before, and then you're contributing to the consciousness of the Atropa ecosystem. It's, yeah, I just love that element of it too. So
Yeah, I feel like it's been a learning experience.
Let's go into. Let's go into like the future here, right? So where do you guys think or see this whole system heading towards? So obviously, as I just mentioned, we haven't even gone through a bull market. What happens? I mean, we're going through a bull market at the moment, but we're kind of in our first cycle. How do you guys see the future of this whole ecosystem playing out? Do you think in the future there's going to be like tens of thousands of these tokens? Do you think there's going to be this game, or how do you guys see this future of the Treasury system and the Fed? Maybe if we start from Yogi, we'll just go top to bottom because I want to hear everyone's perspective.
I think it's almost impossible to predict what the future of this could look like right now, but I
don't know if it's
definitely.
Yogi, but there's no sound. I can see that your microphone got unmuted, but
Hello? Hear me?
oh,
I can hear you.
Okay.
sorry, that's my bad. I accidentally muted myself. Sorry. Sorry, go on, Yogi.
Okay. I was gonna say, I think it's pretty hard. I think it's hard to predict where this is going in the future. I definitely believe that Fed will be 1-to-1 with Treasury bill. And I think it's just a matter of where Treasury bill goes after that. But there could literally be thousands of tokens created by people who knows what their purpose are, what they're doing with them. But I think the possibilities are endless, basically, with this.
Yeah, I agree. The possibilities are endless. Sunny, you're next in line.
Yeah, you
Where
hear
do
me?
you see all of this going? Yes, I can.
All right. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit and tell any of you, if you got friends that play video games all day, man, like Steve was saying, man, get 3 of you on a voice call or in a Telegram chat and just sit here and try and figure this out. Like, tell me, Iron and Stu became such good friends. We just sat there and we figured it the fuck out, and each one of us would figure out something else and just tell it the next one, and we just kept moving on and moving forward. Like Stu just shared something with me there yesterday. Literally, it made my productivity 500x. Like, something that was taking me 500 clicks, he was like, "Oh, I'll use this," and it's like 1 click. So like, think of it like Call of Duty or whatever fucking game you guys are playing online with your friends, just screaming at each other, and make the prize coins that are worth money. As far as the Fed goes in the future, I think the Fed's going to do great. The amount of Treasury bill that's going to buy and burn is going to do awesome. You have to really zoom out and go back to MV and think about the tensor and how deep this shit gets, because MV is still the fucking pride and joy and backbone of this whole fucking thing. Now that the Treasury tokens are there, you have to buy and burn MV to do that. So there is huge buy pressure on MV, which is a great thing. And with MV being the ultimate floor of everything, and like I've said, you've all heard me say it for years now, like as gas goes up on this chain, you're going to see what this can do. And it's going to do it mostly in LP. It's all token counts, but you'll have LPs where both tokens are going up in value, and you are also just getting more of both token because people are minting them and giving them to you. So it's worth fucking around and finding out. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, and with MV basically being the required token where any V4 gets launched off the initial supply of MV, it makes MV a very interesting token to observe, to watch, to see how it plays out. And I think this is something, I mean, you've basically been the only voice that's been shilling MV very heavily, Sonny. And I think it's probably a good idea for people to really start to think about it from the perspective that you're thinking about it. Even just that.
What's funny too is I don't even shill it. I've never shilled it, right? Like I always try and educate people. People come and they're like, "Oh, I'll buy MV." I'm like, "No, don't buy it. Like, do not buy that shit. Like, you put it into LP, and whatever you put it into LP with, the other side disappears. It just goes away. It burns, right? As long as you're getting more MV, it doesn't matter, because the MV is going to go up in value, and you're just going to get more and more and more. It's like the tensor gets really, really deep on this one, and it's the backbone of the whole thing. I see how it works. I see it burning. I see that it's token counts and percentages of one token, how much it holds the next one, and where that economic energy is going to end up, right? And like, just reading some of this stuff, right? Like this Global Citizen guy saying that no one understands Maria anymore, and it makes it bearish. It's like, good, if anyone understood this, they'd ape the shit out of it, right? And it wouldn't work as well, And him saying that people wouldn't have anything to dump on if Steve hadn't helped people buy it. Well, if you're buying things because someone told you to buy something, you're in the wrong game, man. Don't let influencers influence your purchases. Make your educated decisions or get wrecked, man. Go buy FDC. I'm literally printing $9 every 3 blocks this entire conversation at an hour and a half. So, you can figure it out yourself, or you can have some friends, or you can FUD and chat on a YouTube stream. Your choice.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate your point there. Don't listen to me. Figure it out for yourself. That's really almost been the core of my messaging from the start. Like, just because I've got a YouTube channel, it doesn't mean I'm some kind of expert. You really have to figure this stuff out for yourself. And just because I'm talking about it, it doesn't mean to buy it. Half the things I talk about on this channel, I don't even own. I don't even own any Atropa tokens, and my whole channel is Atropa Ecosystem. So, yeah, like really, if you just figure this stuff out for yourself, like, yeah, you become responsible for yourself. Really, I can't emphasize that enough. So, yeah, and I wish we could project the visualization in your mind, Sonny, because you were saying this on Wolf's stream the other day, and yeah, like you have this ability to be able to visualize it very clearly in your mind, but not necessarily be able to like draw it and describe it. So it's almost like, boy, if we could somehow get a projection of the image that's in your mind, I think that would be so awesome for a lot of people. But it also, at the same time, even if we were to do that,
yeah, you got to think of it like sorry, I'm
go on.
breaking up.
Sorry.
I think I'd break it up. Think of it like a forest, right? Like if you grow up in the woods, you know your woods. You know every tree, you know every branch, you know every root and where to step, right? If you go to someone else's woods, you're lost in the woods until you live there long enough, right? And you get to know the trees. And that's all this is, right? Like I've been in this since day one. Like, me and Iron, and I don't know if Stu was around back then. I'm pretty sure he was, but like, Teddy Bear before it had liquidity with one holder, like we've watched all of this, and we haven't. I mean, yeah, we take some breaks. Like we all took a couple months off the summer. Like you got to step away, but like when you're just in it and you watch, it's just this beautiful book being written. It's a story that no one can ever tell, but anyone can go read it, you know?
I love that. Yeah, and you pretty much made exactly the point that I was going to make. Even if we were to be able to project the image of what's in your mind, it would almost be meaningless unless people have walked those steps themselves. It's almost like, you know, when you show somebody a picture of a mountaintop, well, okay, that's all good and well, but unless you walked up that mountain yourself and then you went through the trials and tribulations to get up there and have that view, you really can't appreciate it. You really can't understand it. It's just like a nothing. And I think, again,
right,
you
can watch the YouTube video of someone walking up that trail, right? That's literally, you can go to the blockchain, find my wallets, and you can look at every single step that I've taken to go from a $7,500 pulse sacrifice to a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all right there. And you know, I got hacked for like 50 grand a few months back, so it's a little harder to follow me now. All new computers, all new wallets, all new everything, right? So like, I've spaced things out, but like, the story is there to be told, and what's on that 414 blockchain dev wallet, like, you know, if you know, someone I'm sure could go with AI and be like, turn this into a fucking comic book or a short film. Like, it's all there. It's pretty cool. Lined up with the IRC, like, that's it. Like, it's been 2.5 years. Well, it's been a solid 2 years of Atropa, right around this time, so, you know, fall-ish, August, I think. It would take that long to tell the story, right? So like, there is no summing it up. There is no 5-minute video clip. But like, I'm sorry to the younger generation who can't, you know, focus for more than 15 seconds. But like, this is something for the old timers. This is something for people that can sit down and you know, like, to me, like, what I visualize is James's masterpiece, right? It's this piece of art that, you know, it may look like a liquidity web or a little city or whatever in my head of like roads going to different buildings and buildings of different sizes that hold different things. And like it's truly, truly beautiful. I know no one will ever see it the way I do. That's how art is, right? It's all in the eye of the beholder. It's your perspective. So like, every one of us sees it differently. And like, I mean, really, and you know, you just zoom out and you look at this whole thing working together. Like, when you look at a token that was launched 2 years ago that maybe just came into play last week, and you're like, holy shit, like, that was supposed to loop around here and that connects this thing to this. Oh my God. You know, it's just like, you know, it's like a new subway system getting put in and connecting 2 stops. Like, it's just, it's a really cool story. It's a really cool adventure. And if you can do it with friends, like, I'm glad all you guys are here in this chat. I'm glad I got the pub, because it's super boring alone. And I've been doing it alone since I got hacked. Like, I won't really go on social media. None of my computers have it except for this old one. This is actually the one that got hacked. I really don't give a shit anymore. But like, there's nothing on it, you know? But yeah, if you do it alone and you're fucking losing money, like, yeah, it sucks. Find some friends, figure out a way to make money.
Yeah. Doing it together.
Friends, just don't be an asshole.
Yeah, and even, man, like, I mean, if this Atropa ecosystem, I mean, I'm like you, Sonny. Maybe I don't see it in the sense of like a visual thing, but I just have a feeling for it, and my whole being resonates when I talk about this thing. My whole being resonates when I even think about it, and when I start to try and describe it. And it's like there's something here that's so majestic, so wonderful, that just exploring it is just, it's so thrilling. And when and if it does reach its final form, boy, I feel like, I mean, if it's as epic as we think it's going to be, the movie, if there's a movie for this, it would be it would be wild, man. It would be just absolutely crazy. Like, imagine, I mean, yeah, I mean, even going back to this, I mean, I mean, yes, this is true. What was it? Our Global Citizen made some comment about it being hard to follow Maria's things, and it's like, yeah, exactly. And that's also been part of the fun. It's like, it's not, oh, hey, I'm going to launch this thing and I'm going to pump it to $1. Come and buy it. Like, then, you know, where's the fun in that? There's no edge. There's nothing. It's like that's part of the mystery. That's part of the beauty of it. Like, trying to discover it and figure it out. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
It's all
that's literally
it is.
half the fun, and the fact that what is on the blockchain is on the blockchain, right? So like the 414 wallet hadn't done anything for a couple of days, maybe 4 days or something, and then yesterday, the day before, it approved a token, right? One of the ones that it had minted from the Treasury token and never added liquidity to. So the approval means it's about to add liquidity, right? So like seeing that approval, I went to that token so I could find its parent so I can mint it. Well, I did that. They added, that was the one I was talking about earlier. They added like $500 worth of MV to it, right? So you go and you mint that token for $5 and you go and just clear out the $500 in one click. Like if you're onto it, like the communication is exactly where it is and it's 100% fact, right? Nothing we say here is anything other than blockchain, right? Otherwise it's speculation, it's influence, or it's bullshit, right? So like it's I remember back before Maria had come out at all, and it was like, yo, we all kind of were like, I hope this doesn't happen, right? And we knew when it did happen, we knew what that meant. You know, it changed things.
Playback resume.
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful story. It's an epic story. It's a story with everything. It's a story with like every aspect. I mean, we have to face it. There's been, I mean, you guys were talking about it as well with the selling of Teddy Bear and bridging out 1 million and people complaining about it. And I loved the perspective that you guys had on that. Like, I think, I kind of get trapped into this maybe a kind of a bias because I'm so heavily talking about it. I'm always trying to defend Maria's actions in a positive kind of a way. But it's like, I mean, yeah, he bridged out 1 million, but good. I mean, he's done all this work and he's taken some profit. Like what? Like, isn't that what this is all about as well? Like being able to take something out and do something with it in the world. I don't know what he's going to do with it. And does it really matter? Like, why should everybody else get to do that, but then the dev not get to do that? It's part of it, but the narratives that go behind it and the whole PDI thing. And it's just, what a story, man. Like, yeah, what a story. Maddie, what do you think about the Fed and the Treasury system? Where do you think this is all headed? What is it for you? Where's it going?
Well, I think it's an essential part, and I don't know how to really describe this. I guess it's impossible, but let's call it kind of like a symphony where every instrument is like math equations. They're playing together, and depending on what kind of harmonies we're developing, like a one-on-one and Fed and Treasury bill, we kind of unlock the next levels. And I guess that's kind of what Sunny also was saying earlier with just that actually through one to another token getting into the right ratio, the whole system changes. It's kind of dynamic, but at the same time, there are equations that he has developed for more than a decade. Talk about James. So I guess that's also why nobody of us can really understand it, because as much as you have to read quite a while of blockchain to understand what Atropa is and what happened in the last 2 years, now imagine to gas 10 years of this dude's mental energy, at least 10 years. Just saying, it's pretty complex. I'm not trying to say that I really understand every detail, but the potential of like dynamic support between Treasury bill, Atropa, not forgetting also that there's affection, dysnomia, that there's several systems that serve several purposes. It's genius. I really thank James for this piece of art, piece of music, whatever you want to call it, mimicking neural network or a mycelium. However, it's brilliant. And yeah, I'm not just also trying to be now admiring every action of his. He's a human being. That doesn't mean that he has no needs, that he's perfect, that he's not trolling people sometimes. Don't take everything to the heart. You're reading on YouTube. Don't try and decipher every second of every video. You might fuck your own mind with it. I'm not trying to do that. Yeah,
I can testify to that.
We're just trying to say for all the super conspiracy guys out there, he's also a human being. We don't know if he's from this planet, but at least his avatar is.
I love that, Maddie. I love that. And yeah, I guess just answering this, Rick, everything that Maddie said is basically answers that question. When you look at, I always look at this as the whole system. So even just because I don't own any individual Atropa token, it doesn't mean like it's the whole ecosystem. I mean, Atropa and PDI is like one and the same. And then when you have a look at what the ratio was several months ago, you'd almost be crazy not to swap your Atropa for your PDI. So yeah, that pretty much probably gives some clues as to why I don't own any Atropa. So Stu, how about yourself? Where is this going? The Fed, the Treasury bill, the Treasury system, where's it going for you? Where do you see this headed?
Well, I have to say it. Fed Treasury bill 1-to-1. Excited for that, because then there's going to be the bigger game of who's going to bot the shit out of the Treasury and the Fed staying 1-to-1. Because then whoever does that, that's money for life. But it's going to be interesting to see how things go, because I'll reference back to when I called Pulse Chain a show, and this is season 3. I'll basically call it Atropa season 3, because that's exactly what it is. It's going to be new codes, new things. It's going to be another experiment. I don't know what the future holds in terms of what Maria James has planned, but I'm excited because kind of like Sonny said, everyone's got their own picture on how it's going to work out, and if you kind of understand it a little bit, it's very exciting. And I guess it's been kind of nice. I've been very grateful for what's been presented before me, because it changed my life in more ways than I can count, forever, as a matter of fact. So I owe it a lot to kind of return that gratitude, because not really gratitude, because hard works, but I don't have to be a greedy person, and no one really has to be a greedy person. Yeah, at the end of the day, we're here to kind of make money and kind of go off into the sunset and retire in the forests and the caves and stuff like that. But in reality, this is kind of it's not PvP anymore, it's PvE. Someone can take 75% of the pot and leave the rest for everyone else, and at least better than nothing. And that's how people gotta look at it too, right? There's people out there that James literally throws money away every day. Basically like the one token, like his dollar. I don't know what the symbol is. It's like for me, it's like I don't have it, but it's like the question mark with the box around it. But that's just like his
The
dollar,
Korean
and
symbol.
he always buys it up. So it's like if you see that below $1, there's a chance that he's gonna buy that. So it's like you've got to pay attention to certain patterns and certain things, and it's just like it's time in the space and stuff like that, right? So there's always ways to get more tokens, do this, do that. But I'm really excited for what the future holds, because I'm no longer in a position where I have to be impatient. I can sit back and let things happen. I can be a bit more generous myself. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we're all kind of here to win, right? So. So I'm excited for what the future holds for this chain. I really am. And who knows if what RH does or what he has up his sleeve, that's a whole different story. Or if he has anything at all. It doesn't matter. Because if you're in a trope, you're already winning.
I love that, and I love what you mentioned about that dollar symbol. I think you said it's a square. I think maybe it's like a Korean.
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking
I can't
about.
see it, but I know what you're talking about. Someone actually commented.
Ohu.
Yeah, pump that
Right.
one. But that's basically he stays that. He keeps that around $1, or generally likes to keep it around $1. So if it's below, it's I bought a bunch of 67 cents. I'm pretty sure it's at 77 now. So there's profit right there, right? Little things like that, patterns.
Right.
But that's
Patterns?
that's an educated guess, though, right? So I could
Right.
be wrong. Could be wrong, could be right. But at the end of the day, like it's just you gotta fuck around to find out. You have to really be able to put yourself out there and like, don't go all in on shit. Like you can slowly build yourself up to be in a position where you'll always be able to multiply your tokens. And that's kind of the nice thing about this chain is you can really multiply things really quickly if you know where to put them.
Yeah, and again, going back to that OHU, for example, I think this is the point that I was trying to make earlier when I was reiterating Sonny's point about MV and the whole aspect of the Atropa ecosystem and just trying it. It's like, okay, all right, where do I begin? That can be overwhelming, but if you just take one part, so if you just take that one part of OHU and go, you know what, I'm just going to watch this. I'm just going to watch this little ratio here. And I can see something here. I'm seeing a pattern. It always is going 1-to-1. So I'm just going to stick to this. And then I'm going to branch out my exploration into the Atropa ecosystem from this one point, just starting at this one point and then going deep into that and then branching out from there. That's all you need to do. And then you could do it with MV. You could do it with, like I mentioned earlier, you've got Atropa and PDI. Maybe that's the ratio that you start from. Like if it feels overwhelming and it feels like there's too much to learn, just start from one little piece. That's really something that I really, I would really love to try and instill and encourage people to do. So, you were about to say something? Sorry.
Oh no, I was, yeah, I didn't know if you were gonna keep going. No, I was just gonna say it's this place has been like this space is it's really welcoming if you're willing to put in the time to learn, ask the right questions, do the work, and there is a group waiting open arms to always welcome people that are always willing to work and do what's best for the space. And it really is a welcoming environment to have here. And you know what, like, kudos to Sunny and the pub for creating something like that and to
Yes.
really pushing people to say, hey, figure it out yourself. Like that's you're not going to understand it unless you try to figure it out yourself. If someone tells you, that's easy, and that's just what sometimes people want is an easy answer, but that's not always the way. And that's actually in this case was definitely not the right way. So kudos to the challenge, because if you took it, you're laughing.
Man, and it's always fun to just click buttons, right? Like a lot of people might remember the PDI thing when our buddy was screwing around on the one of the contracts and was able to do the thing that they posted the next morning saying RH had voted, and it's like, no, it's a public call. You just have to do these 2 or 3 other things, and you have to own this and have there was a combination to it. And that's like, I laugh at PDI now, right? Because the only thing people can do is shill it to $1 and say it's going, like, that's all they have. No one talks facts. No one talks about the code, right? Atropa and what's going on just absolutely just blows away PDI in every aspect there is. So like, PDI is still going to go up. It's going to go past $1. It's not going to peg unless someone creates something that would peg it, but that would cost their own money. It just wouldn't make any sense, right? So like, this is built on top of that. PDI is 1,000,000x from launch when it came to this chain, and there's not that many X's left, and then this will build on top of it. So Atropa is the way to go, and the deeper you get into it, like, I don't hold any Atropa. I mean, I've got a few 100,000 maybe, I don't know, but like not that many, not for an Atropa whale. Like I have it just in case I need it for something. It's not like I'm holding it hoping it's going to go up, because when people look at something and think impermanent loss, like me holding an Atropa, that's an impermanent loss, because I can go and put it into like any of these Atropa multipliers and just hold that one token and watch it just go from 10 Atropa to 20 to 30 to 50 to 100, right? So like,
All right,
I love that.
there's a lot of other stuff out there. Atropa is the way to go.
Excuse me, Steve. I have to ask the question because it's kind of entertaining and funny. Cash Money Alpha Boss, obviously, Mr. Sunny. what do you think about the secret layer 2 and the secret pack being prepared from your perspective?
Was that aimed at me?
But that was into you.
So I think a lot of this stuff's really fun, right? I think Riggs had a really good imagination too. And personally, right, like I always like to zoom out. And you'll hear me say it a lot in conversation. Zoom out, just zoom out, right? So this isn't the end game for our age. This is a midway point. Hex was not even the starting point. Like before he even launched Hex, he knew about Pulse Chain and all of this shit, right? He could have launched whatever the fuck he wanted already with a whole layer 2 and all this crazy bullshit and had it forked that no one else ever knew on some other random wallet. It was just some stupid fucking coin that no one ever knew about. It was totally abandoned, right? It could have had who knows god awful amounts of stuff in there, right? So like all these people have all these great ideas and they dig and they find a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of really cool stuff, man, whether it be coincidence or it comes out to be something truly awesome and amazing. Not one of them can show me where to put the money. So like a lot of it's just conspiracy for me personally until you show me where to put the money, where you can make money off of it, where there's a token or an LP or something extractable, right? So I don't know. A lot of those are a hard sell for me. An L2, you just want the token. You want the gas token for the L2. That's all you would want. There's no reason for an L2 right now.
Yeah, I was wondering because that's like the right now theory is the L2 and being packed on the L2, and then the L2 would make it pack on the layer 1. That's the theory, but I'm not really into layer 2, so I have no idea.
And it doesn't make any sense. Like if you can no longer mint the coin, you cannot peg it. You can't stop it anywhere, right? So like it's just silly. Like
I do want to go into this in just a minute, actually, because obviously it's a very heated topic. But just before we do, I definitely want to get Ironclad's perspective on where Ironclad thinks. Where do you think this is going? Fed, Treasury bill, Treasury system. How are you seeing this?
I think Teddy Bear is going to be our savior. Not that we need a savior by any means, but Fed's doing great. But Teddy Bear, I've always seen Teddy Bear as just like, Sonny just brought it up, but when we first watched Atropa launch, there was Atropa, and then he launched down legal, and then there was Teddy Bear, and then there was another Chinese coin off the side. But Teddy Bear was just one of those first ones, and then it's got this huge pairing to Treasury bill. I can just see, it's sitting there at like 10 million market cap right now. So if we're talking price appreciation, Teddy Bear could be our guy. Just, he's just going to be our meme coin, I think. And Teddy Bear used to be number one all the time. Up, you look on Deck Screener like we all do. So, but I would say to anyone who's wanting to learn anything about Atropa, it's all on his GitHub and it's all public. And Claude is $20 a month for, if you want to use it for 5 hours at a time and just plug in contract after contract. He's got everything it's out there. You can go mint First Pulse Mutual Bond, which is off of Treasury bill. It's not profitable right now, but it will be. And there's all these other, I would say, ways to profit outside of just the Treasury bill ecosystem. Not to get off topic, but I do think that he's going to, I guess, melt it all together. Like dysnomia is going to come into play with the WM client, which MV to me is the bottom of the Treasury ecosystem, even though it's outperforming Treasury bill right now. I would say, yeah, the sky's the limit, and we're all deep in it. If we try to onboard anyone into this, like I have a buddy sitting next to me right now, if I was to try to get him into this, it's a ton of work. So I try and just, it's the easiest to push people to buy, or teddy bear, and then, but most people are going to come in and buy these, the shiny things, because if they arrive on the pulse chain, that's the first thing they're going to see. So, but yeah, if you go look on like some of these dysnomia contracts, you can see some of these mentors. Like Eris is a V4 mentor off of Atropa, and he's got like Eris hidden in the constructor on some of these dysnomia contracts, which is like a little Easter egg. If you go deep and you start to look through, and just, it's sometimes very boring, but there's definitely things to be looking out for, I would say.
You mean this Eros would be, when you say his dysnomia contracts, you mean Maria's dysnomia contracts on his GitHub?
Yeah, which I can't find the specific one. I know I saw it like a month ago, but I'm going through them right now and I can't find it. But there is one of them, like Eris is in the constructor. So I think he's going to, all these mentors are probably going to be put into the dysnomia client in one way or another. I'm not saying that as a fact, but that's just a hunch that I'm seeing. And it's all going to be part of this gameplay and the chat, like the king, like Fed has its own king. You can make a king chat off of any Atropa token. So I'm going everywhere. Make it all into like this one big thing. That's going to be crazy, I think.
Man, it's yeah. Even what you said about Claude, like that's a whole thing right there. Like that's definitely something that I want to eventually do. I want to go down that road of like figuring all this code out. And I mean, I'm not even a coder, but just kind of like Claude seems to be probably the best for this as well in terms of figuring out code. I think maybe the latest upgrades in ChatGPT puts ChatGPT up there. I know people use Grok as well, but I find Grok like, fuck, Grok just talks too much, man. I'm just like, bro, just chill. It gives me like 1 billion words for every single answer. I'm like, man, you talk way too much, like everybody on Twitter. Just give me simple stuff. And maybe I talk too much as well. But yeah, Claude is, I've found when I've been exploring the contracts, probably the best. So even like, yeah, figuring all this out, plugging it all into there and building the story up on Claude by putting all the GitHub in there and getting Claude to figure it out piece by piece, and then putting the whole story together. Like, what is dysnomia? Like, no, there hasn't been like this super clear answer on that yet. So this, even just figuring that out is a whole thing in itself. So if anyone wants to go down that road, boy,
so
yeah, let's talk.
I think it was Eris. It might have been Semiotic. They both have that snowflake, but pull up Eris, ERIS, and go to the blockchain, go to the transaction hash for the launch. And if you look at it, it's unlike any of the other deploys. There's 4 or 5 tokens that get deployed in it. Skill is one of them versus MV, ERIS.
I think that was the V4. Yeah, that was, I think, the V4 mentor, or if not, it was, I think, one of his first prototypes of it.
Go put in skill and see if skill pops up.
Yeah, I think off the V4 mentor, like the factory mentor, you can even launch your own that'll produce 5 tokens at a time. It's kind of a weird thing.
Maybe it's V3, but it's definitely
You have to click all, Steven.
it's index or personal, one of the two on the GitHub. That I think, because when he launched it, he immediately got like, I think, the skill, and then he would, off of skill he wanted, I think. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of V3 maybe. Fuck me, so many fucking things.
If you go deck screener and just type in skill, it's the first one, and you can go to the deploy from there.
Yeah.
All right. All right, where did you want to go from skill? Sorry, Sonny?
Just go to the contract. And go to it's from the deploy hash. So click on the contract address. No, the contract address up top. Yep. And then at transaction under creator.
This one?
Not next one. The transaction hash. Yep.
Oh, yep.
And then scroll that one. You probably have to do a click more or see more or whatever. Yep, view all. So you can see there it was skill, LARP, NASDAQ came out of that one.
So it was
LARP.
B4.
Yeah, and then down at the bottom of the last ones was 9 came out of that one. It was a different one.
It was okay.
Okay.
I'm not crazy.
Semiotic. I thought it was the other one, but semiotic. They both have a white flake, right? But skill or semiotic's a Atropa multiplier, if I'm not mistaken, right? So like that's a big one with good lick that's buying and burning Atropa. So Atropa's becoming top holders, or these contracts are also becoming top holders in Atropa.
When you say
Now-
it's buying Atropa, you mean just like the users contributing to it, or?
Yeah, so if you go back up, click on that on the contract address again, and then click on the tokens, the little drop-down box in the middle. It says tokens 1.
Playback stop.
Up, the drop-down box right in the middle. Go a
This
little
one?
higher, up.
Oh,
Yep. All right, so this has 37,000 Atropa on it, right? So we could go and look at the Atropa holders list and see which holder 37,000 is, and we'll see this contract as a holder. So that's what I'm saying. These multipliers are becoming holders of Atropa, and the bigger ones, as this starts to explode and go up more, are just going to hold more and more and more, right? So it's this crazy buy and burn on 20 different. I mean, so if you go to that Treasury Spine one, you can sort by parent, and you'll see you can alphabetize that, and you can just find every one of them that's got Atropa parent, right? And you can look at all of those, and like that's kind of what I do, right? Like I have all the Atropa ones I have liquidity in, because as they multiply and their numbers go up, if there's buy pressure on it one day, like it's just going to flow into the Atropa side of my LP and give me that multiplier in Atropa, like dead flat right there, ready to go.
I guess the
See-
patience game is that you have to know that like when Maria sets like LP and there's profit to be made, like there's some pretty fucking quick people when it comes to that shit. So like that's why it's like wait for it to maybe drop below and then buy it up, LP it, and it's easy to kind of set it and forget it. And then come back, maybe check on to see if the multiplier is above or below. Then you can pull some, buy it, sell it, hold it. Like there's a lot of little games to be played in this, which is like a lot of like really fun. So I kind of want to go back to like what Clyde was saying about Eris. So like a lot of these contracts he has like different. There's like I think there's Eris, formaldehyde. God, I don't know them off the top of my head. There's like 4 of them, and basically if you go to the contract with the I guess using the smart GUI, you take those and they're actually Shio tokens. So every time basically you want something, it's Shio. But this is the fun thing is Maria at any time can change the market rate for token. So like he can basically dump all of these tokens onto a contract and then say, hey, it's change the market rate for get rid of the affection one or increase it dramatically, and then also add in I think a new token so that you're forced to buy, say, the Eris token to now maybe claim it off of like one of the affection contracts. So like I feel like maybe that's going to be a game that he's going to be playing down the road. So it'll force you maybe to get some of these ones that it's kind of, I don't know, this is speculation, right? But like there's definitely a game side of it for a lot of this shit. And like to think that he's got market rate specifically, and I think he had us. I think what he released it so that you could control the market rate of your own coin. I believe. I think Clyde got to do that, right? But
Yeah, he
regardless,
has. There was
Sorry.
a dysnomia token that he released. I can't remember the name. It's hard to keep up with all the names, but he did a live stream on that. And yeah, if you go and mint that token, that dysnomia token, then it allows you to add market rates to your Lao, to your King, to basically your dysnomia self-held tokens.
Yeah. So yeah, I forgot because even when you join, I think some of the kings, you almost have to pay like a fee to get in, right?
Yeah, well, especially the kings, because the kings you can set a what is that? The basically a bouncer fee, but entry fee.
And it was funny. I remember him saying to me in an email, he literally envisioned this being bigger than Telegram and Twitter put together. So I was like, that's intense.
Bigger than what and Twitter put together?
Telegram and Twitter.
He envisioned what? King being bigger than Telegram and Twitter
No,
put together?
like everything.
Oh.
The whole thing. Like it was very, very ambitious to hear. And it was, to kind of see like the little thing. Like I'm a gamer, so like I kind of see like the little things that like are here and there, and you can kind of see like where things could go. But like that's kind of the beauty of it, and it is like everyone has their own picture of how it's going to get there or what it's going to look like. So you just kind of enjoy the ride and you just play the games he gives you, because like it's kind of like, think about it, like these are all little mini games at a game. So like you say like we're coders, like we're not really coders, we're just good at puzzles. And what is a video game? Essentially just a big puzzle. So we're just really good at this game, and you just have to play the game to get better at it. So if you look at it like that aspect, instead of like, hey, I know so much about code. Well, I dug in so I could learn more about it, so I could understand it, so that it could benefit me. And like, it's, snowballed into becoming a skill. But like, essentially, yeah, this is just a big game, and there's mini games to play, and every mini game has prizes at the end if you know how to play them. But like every mini game, you got to put up collateral to play the games, and unfortunately, it's just how it works, right?
Yeah, and just take it piece by piece, because if Maria's looking at it as going to be bigger than Twitter and Telegram put together, that's huge, man. That's really huge. So it can feel so overwhelming. So just start with something small. Like, I mean, okay, even look at this. I'm just going through this semiotic. I mean, what can I find here? I don't know. I'm just going to go. You could just go back and have a look. Where did it start? What happened at the beginning? So go back to the start of when it was first created. I should be able to just press first, but I don't know if it actually takes me. Does that take me to page 1 or? Yeah, you dog. All right, but anyway, yeah.
Go look at the chart against Atropa too, and I think it's at 21. Let me see. It's supposed to be 21 to 1 to mint right now, and it's at 17. And you can see where it was above, where it was below. Like you can see the big red lines. Like, oh, someone just minted that because no one was paying attention to it for a couple of weeks, and whatever it was paired to went up. Like the charts. Yeah, do that one. Click versus Atropa up top.
We've got a big bunter buy candle here.
Right, so bring that down to like I don't know, probably an hour. There's not that many hits on it for the last. It's been out forever, but there's just not many on it. Or stretch it out a little bit, right? So like it's supposed to be 21 right now. So you can see where forever it was above 21, and people would sell it back down to 15 or 10, and as you mint it, that multiplier goes up, so it's now up to 21, right?
Gotcha.
You got to remember the game itself too is like people might not just hold on the token for the sake of like, oh, well, this is going to go higher. Well, no, if there was a profit to be made, if they bought it below at 10, is now 21, though, there's a profit. That's why the multiplier drops down. So like it's there's always going to be that buy and sell pressure, because there's always someone who bought it earlier that's able to sell for profit, that does sell for profit. Not everyone holds, not everyone puts an LP, so it's fun.
And there's the one-to-ones that you can claim back and forth depending on the total count. And when you claim backwards, it takes it. It actually sends, it legit burns it rather than send to an address, right? So it takes it out of supply. So pull up the Associated Press AP, if you can find that one. Associated Press versus Atropa, and it's still, I think it's either still under value or just went over, right? But under 1.11111 million tokens, it's 1-to-1 redeemable, right? All of these you can redeem for 1-to-1. So if it's ever below 1-to-1, you buy the other token, you go redeem it for the original. That's it. Yeah, Associated Press. So that one, and when you get that one, you have to pull the chart way out, but you can see it's 1-to-1. It's just a stable coin back and forth until you mint so many, and then it does a multiplier at 2-to-1 once there's a million of them minted. But for now, you just go back and forth. You can literally leave this up. Give me a 0.1 of an Atropa, I press the button. Like, right? So right now you can go run 10 tokens through there, and you're gonna make 10.3 with price impact, because that's a 3.6% right there. That's the profit right now, 3.6%. You could actually mint the Associated Press 1-to-1 with Atropa, 10 of them, and go and sell it for 10.3. You maybe get 10.25, but you're gonna get a quarter of an Atropa, right? That's still 3 cents right now. Might cost you a penny in gas, so you make 2 cents, but it's making 2 cents, right? You just got the 0.1 or the 0.2s. Like, sometimes I do that, I get a half an Atropa, like, just for watching that and keeping that stable at 1-to-1. You can actually see where it used to be 2-to-1, right? But then so many got minted, then it went down to the 1-to-1, and it got bought right the fuck back up to 1-to-1, because you just buy them for half off. You know, you buy 2 of them, and you go and you claim it, and you get 2 of them for an Atropa, and you go claim 2 Atropa for it. It's a little legit 2x. So all those red lines, anything off that 1-to-1 line was somebody making profit.
Yeah, and we're talking about it a few cents now, where Atropa is what? I mean, what is Atropa? What's the price of Atropa these days? So it's what? Just over 10. It's 11 cents. So what happens when it gets to, I don't know, $1 then? Or what happens when it gets to, if it ever does, like it was $7.50 if Peter ever gets to $1. I mean, yeah, there's really the long-term thinking behind this as well, which I really like, the aspect that I like.
It's just a great way to stack too, right? Because people don't have capital. Like, I'm not bringing capital in and buying shit, but if I sit here and leave this open, like the other day, I leave like 20 or 40 of these, and every time 20 comes up, I can make a quarter. Like, I made like 100 Atropa the other day off of it, and sure, yeah, that's $10, but like what? Because I have a tab open and I keep an eye on this one. I made 100 Atropa. Like, cool. Now I'll take half of that and maybe sell it and put it in, or my last mint, right? I'll mint 50 of the Associated Press, and then I'll pair those in an LP, right? So now I have the equivalent of 100 Atropa in an LP making an APR until they mint more of them, and then it's going to go 2x, right? So they're going to take half my Associated Press in LP and give me double the Atropa. So I'm just going to get more of my Atropa in my LP, which is now doing the same. Like, it seems like, micro pennies now here at the bottom, but you throw that shit in an LP on these multipliers, and the next thing you know, it's like, holy fuck, if there was actual buy pressure and not just speculation on this shit, like, the machine is going to be very well oiled and just purr, man. Like, the shit will just be getting minted everywhere and sold somewhere else, up and down, right? Because, like, if Atropa goes down, you buy Associated Press or you mint that and sell the Atropa. If Atropa goes up, then you buy the Associated Press and you claim the Atropa, and you buy more Associated Press and claim the Atropa, right? So it's like, it's the easiest, and this one specifically is like the easiest one to watch and track, because it's got like 1.8K there with Atropa, but I think Big Dev put like, I want to say this one's got a lot with Treasury bill. I don't know. Maybe it's World Serpent Domination. That's another good one. That's a 1-to-1. That one just went 2-to-1 though.
Sorry, which one was that, Sonny? Were you just saying?
The World Serpent Domination, WSD. It's the same style as this Associated Press one with the 1-to-1 with Atropa. but it's got the 1.1 million total supply in supply now. So it's above its multiplier. So it's gone to a 2-to-1 to mint now, right? So it's between 1-to-1 and 2-to-1. So you're not going to buy it to claim, and you can't mint it for profit. So it just has this, gray area now where it just basically is going to go up to the 2-to-1. Like if some people want to buy it because they know it's going to go to 2-to-1, then they can catch that 2-to-1 and then cash it out later, and they'll get double their Atropa. And it doesn't matter what the dollar sign, if Atropa goes down 99% and you're in this and you catch your swap, you can take your 2 Atropa that you had that were down 99% and then turn it into 100 Atropa. And all of a sudden you have the same exact dollar amount, right? And you have 100 more Atropa. So if Atropa goes back up to where it was after some crazy dip that you caught and did the 1-to-1 on this, then now when it gets back up there, the other one went the other way, you can take your 100 and you can turn that into 1,000. Because you're gonna flip it on the way back up. Like these are stable coins, and until people really truly bought them, like they work pretty well. Like I said, some of these bigger ones are botted, but like you can manually do this right now with 10 Atropa and go make at least like a 0.1 Atropa. What is it?
And that's kind of the thing too. Like everyone wants the big money and stuff like that. It's just you gotta kind of zoom out to the bigger picture. It's just if you can learn to just make more tokens, before you know it, the small amount turned big before you know it. Sorry, I said before you know it twice. And it's just then by the time you're there, you're used to it. You're used to doing this game. You're used to playing the game. So it's
So I just went and looked.
repetition.
Chart that you're looking at right now, WSD. If you load anyone here, load it up in your swap, type in 30, and for 30 WSD, you could take 30 Atropa. Actually, I don't know. WSD might have gone 2-to-1, right? So maybe don't do this one. Maybe it was AP. You have to check the last mint. But for that 30, you can sell it for 30.3. So you literally make a 0.3 of an Atropa for just clicking a few buttons.
Yeah, at the moment, the mint to burn is 1 to 2 for WSD.
Okay, so let's go look at AP, because AP is still 1-to-1. So right now, you can take 30 Atropa, mint 30 AP for gas prices, and sell it for 30.86. So you'll make 0.8 Atropa. It's an 8-cent swap for 8 cents you'll make, and if you want to count dollars. But if you just if you don't have Atropa, you want to get into Atropa, you don't have any fresh capital, that's how you do it. You make a 0.8 right there, and then after you do it, you let the arbitrage go through, and you do it again. But this time you take your 30.8 and you load it up, and it'll give you like 31.2, right? Because the arbitrage bots are going to come in and fill that hole. So you can just sit here and click this over and over and over, and the next thing you know, you might have started with 30 Atropa, and now you've got 35. And the next time, and this can go either way, and that's you're minting the AP and buying the Atropa straight back. And if it flips the other way, you can take the Atropa and you can buy the AP and then go to the contract and claim the AP back for the Atropa to get more Atropa that way.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. I haven't. Yeah. So just on this, right? So with this now, so we got the AP, the WSD now has gone to 2-to-1. How do you guys see that this is going to make its way up to the 2? So at the moment, it's hovering around the 1. Like that's one thing that I've been thinking about.
AP right now, if you do it with 100 Atropa, you can make 2 Atropa.
So that's with AP, but now you've got WSD, which is it's gone up. The multiplier's gone up. It's now 2-to-1. It used to be 1-to-1 as well, but now it's 2-to-1. How do you see that this ratio would get to here to bring WSD back into play with the mint to burn?
Either arbitrage, the token that it goes down, that it's paired against goes down, right? If Atropa goes down, this is going to go up against Atropa, or people are going to buy it. Everything here is speculation. Nothing is anything until it has buy pressure, right? World Serpent Distribution. I don't know. It sounds like a pretty cool fucking whatever in a game, like you can release your snakes on the other players for 12 hours of, snake torture. I don't know. right? Like
Playback
if there's a
paused.
game one day and all these things have a use case, that's the use case, right? It's some special something in a game somewhere.
Well, thank you for sharing this,
Playback started.
Sonny, and highlighting those points actually, because yeah, that's definitely a good part of what's going on with the Treasury system. So,
AP though, for real, like anyone listening, if you figure out how to do it, you just go interact with the contracts. You go to the Associated Press contract, approve it to spend your Atropa, go back to it, mint. If you want to do 100, you'd probably type in 100 and then you'd put in 18 zeros. Press mint. It'll give you 100 Associated Press APs. Load that in your swap. Swap it into Atropa. You'll have 102 Atropa. You can go right back and change that to 102 and mint 102 Associated Press. Come back, load it in your swap, and it's going to say something like 103.5 because it's going to take off the 1% price impact you just did, but an RBot's going to bite it back up. So you can take your 100, you made it into 102, your next one 103.5, next one's going to be 104.25, and by the end of it, you're going to have 110. Like you're going to make 10% on your 100 Atropa. That's 10 Atropa, even at 80 cents or $10 or $1. I don't even know what that is in dollars, right? It's just token counts. That's the video game, right? Like Mario didn't hit for coins for dollars. He just wanted coins.
yeah, nice, man. Here you go. So here's the numbers. So I lied. I've actually got 3 Atropa in this wallet. So 100 for 100 Atropa tokens. If I had 100 Atropa tokens, I could mint 100 AP, and then I could sell 100 AP and get basically 102 Atropa. So this is what Sonny's talking about.
So literally, you don't even need the 100, right? Because that's $11. Maybe you don't have $11, but you want more. Like you can use your 3. Like 3 right now will get you 3.0969. He is 3.1, right? So like that's still a 0.1 on a 3. Like a 0.1 on 1 would be 10%. So that's still a 3% profit on your Atropa, right? And then the next time you've got the 3.1, you get to flip that again, right? If you start small, like it takes a minute to get up there, but then the next thing you know, you're up to that 50 or whatever, and you're making a 0.1 or a 0.2. Like if you get it to 100, you're actually 2 at a time when you started with 3 and you now have 100, right? So like the whole, I don't have the income, I don't have the capital, I can't put in, I'm losing. Like this is a zero loss game if you do it right. If you know how to make this happen, you literally just mint this coin and make the profit. And if you don't want to hold Atropa or you're in some other whatever, take that Atropa and you sell it right back into Pulse or whatever it is that you want to hold,
Yeah, man. It's again, everyone's trying to look for that home run, the quickest, easiest, least amount of effort. And this is a little bit more effort because you got to click buttons and sit in front of the computer. But hey, man, like, you do this all day with all the different tokens. I mean, here we go. Here's the example. That's just now converted into a plus 0.1 of Atropa. So yeah, okay. It's only a few cents now, but what is it going to be in a year's time or 2 years' time?
I did 2 years of swing trading, over $1 billion in volume, right? At the end of 2 years, I was broke as fuck because it's degenerate gambling. It's crypto, right? You're always going to make more. You're always going to make, like, it never ends, right? The dopamine rush is awesome. And Pulse Chain happened. And once I saw the PRC ERC copy thing and I saw it in LP and I was like, oh my God, you just LP these things together, like Richard said, and you're going to make so much fucking money. And it's still true to this day. Like, blows my mind the small amount of LP that we have in some of these tokens. But like you gotta understand, like in 2 years, like the last 6 months, like since January 1st, that's when Treasury tokens started. That's when Interview launched. Like, I mean, I'm done, like these last 2 years of clicking buttons and knowing now that like, oh, if I click this button and do this thing now, it's going to cost me more in gas to do it. But later, if this other thing happens and this other thing happens and this other thing happens, then those buttons that I clicked are going to be worth like $1,000, right? And you can just sit there and you can do that over and over and over, right? And when you come back later, you're like, oh shit, look at that one, it's already 100. Or like the rate at which some of these can grow, especially in the multipliers, right? Like if you get the multipliers and you put your LP in, let's say the multiplier is 100 to 1 and you were the first one, right? But you put all your LP in at 1 to 1, people are going to straight buy it on the way up if they're smart, if they want to buy it at a discount, right? Because they can't, literally no one else can get the token unless you put it in below value, right? So you can even put your own in below value and then buy it up, which will leverage play your own LP in a coin that has a multiplier on it. Like, the Treasury gets really deep in a lot of this shit, and it all just goes. It goes right back to MV. Like, I can turn MV into Treasury bill, and I can turn Treasury bill into MV. Sorry. If you notice, MV was always below Treasury bill, and now MV is above Treasury bill, right? Like, they're actually even, and MV will hold the floor. And it's above it right now because it has all this buy pressure from everyone. And I don't know anyone else that knows how to flip it and do it. And I haven't done it yet, because then you'll just copycat and someone will fucking nuke it.
Man, yeah, I mean, I just see like the whole world opens up when you think about it from that perspective, right? So again, going back to this, okay, yeah, 0.1, but then again, it's a perspective shift. Okay, well, I can just hold this and I've got more Atropa. That's one way of playing, or I can put it into LP, and then you're getting, so just from that swap, whoever's got the LP here, they're getting yield on that. So the AP and the Atropa, and that's all coming from you participating in the ecosystem. So this has just under 14K, but then again, look what happened with NASDAQ. Is this NASDAQ here? No, that's bar, whichever one NASDAQ was. So it was like 100 and, yeah, here we go. Nearly 150,000 in liquidity. This is just from people participating in the ecosystem, playing with the ecosystem, building it, gathering the boys and the girls together to do this. Like, I don't know, man. The sky's the limit. That's what I see. So yeah, what happened to the chart? Oh, we can probably go ahead and do it.
I was about to say, if you have that open to mint, like, go ahead and mint that and swap it. Get your 3.12, mint it again. Get your 3.2. Like, sit here and show people on stream how easy it is to double 3 Atropa, right? And 3 might not be worth the gas, but like we just said, or you just showed, if you do 100 right now, and hopefully someone on stream beats you to it, right? Like, do 100 right now and get the free 2, and then go and wait for the arbitrage box to come, mint 102 and come back, and it's going to be 103.5, right? Until, you're going to drop it that little 1% or whatever every time until it gets to 1 to 1, and then you just stop and you wait,
And especially now that, you can do 100. Obviously, there's like 1.8K in liquidity. So there's just, okay, here we go. So what are we going to convert this to now? So, yep, we just added 0.07 Atropa. So again, they're not huge numbers, but this is just to show you, like, okay, even from a percentage basis, right? I went from 3 to 3. Basically 2. What's that? That's a plus, I don't know, whatever that is, 5% or something like this in my Atropa holdings.
Your next one's going to be like 10%, and then 12. Then, like, this is an exponential growth until it's set, and we know that you can make at least 2 with the first 100 that go through it without any arbitrage, because we put 100 in, it said 102, right? So, like, if you sat here long enough, you sat here for the next 20-30 minutes and just click, back and forth, we get this to 10. By the time you're at 10, you're going to be making a 0.2 or 0.3 every time, right? So next time you're going to be at 20, 30. Like, you can run this all the way up right now until it's equal, and you're equalizing it at such a tiny amount that it's not just going to disappear because there's liquidity to back this, right? And the LP guy, he's getting the newly minted tokens, and those are right now they're above its value anyway. But at a 1 to 1, it, if you put 100 more tokens into this LP, and it's still 1 to 1 with Atropa, that means there's 100 more Atropa in the LP as well. You know what I'm saying? Even though they just sold it and moved it, and all those get bought and burnt. So you just, every time you do this, you're taking another 3.2 and throwing it on that contract. And you're physically buying them from an Atropa pool. So you're just buying them, putting them on this thing, and minting something new to put more buy pressure on Atropa.
Man, alpha.
So think about it. If you sit here and do this 10 times, you're gonna buy 30 Atropa, take them off the market, and put them on a contract. Even though you might have only made a 0.3 and you have 3.3 now, right? You actually bought and burned ish 30 Atropa. And if you keep doing this, if we would have done it with 100, we'd have done 100, done it again with 102, again with 101, again with 104. We'd have bought and burned 500 Atropa and made 10. The LPs are happy, the traders happy, and we all bought and burned and helped everybody that's in Atropa.
Oh man. Yeah, I really hope people are appreciating this, the depth of this alpha. This is brilliant. I mean, now we've just increased our Atropa holdings by basically 10%. Let's see once this next mint comes through, and I'm going to sell this. So remember, started off with 3.01. Here we go, 3.3. Plus 10%, baby, on the 3.3. We'll take it. So again, what Sonny's talking about, if that was 100, then you've just added plus 10 Atropa. Like it's, boy, it requires a different level of thinking. But the beauty here is, like you just said, Sonny, is the LP provider's happy, the trader is happy, everybody's happy in this equation. So it's like a really wonderful thing. And then also I mean, if you continue this and then it goes up to with the WSD, now those Atropa that are on that contract probably are always going to be, well, they've I mean, you can claim them back off the contract, but why would you when it's like, well, it depends what the price is, but basically it makes Atropa deflationary.
Well, right. That's part of it, right? So if Atropa did a 2x tomorrow, right, it fucking just moons, then this ratio is going to go down to where a WSD might only be worth like a 0.8 of an Atropa or a 0.5, right? So at that point, you can still go and whatever Atropa is on the WSD contract, that is claimable. So if you want to stay in the ecosystem and you believe in Atropa, then yeah, you just buy the WSD at the depegged price and you'd hold it till it gets to 2x its price, right? And if you don't like Atropa but you just want to make money, then you come in here and you buy it at 80% of the price and you go and just claim the Atropa back, right? So it's, you buy a 0.8, you get a 1, like,
man, and then so there's all that. Then if you broaden this out to even as like a marketing thing for the blockchain, people are often talking about like volume and how much volume Pulse Chain makes compared to like XRP. Like you're even contributing to the totality of Pulse Chain just by doing this one very simple act on the blockchain. So it's like there's all these layers of this ecosystem that are compounding together to just benefit so many people instead of just benefiting one individual.
Zoom out on that one, and minting is the most GUI using activity that one can do, right? Because you're not actually, well, deploying a contract is, because it's a brand new mint of tokens and a contract. Once the contract's there, the next biggest thing you could do is actually just mint tokens onto it, maybe outside of NFTs or whatever. So it's a gas consuming thing, right? So down the road, when all these thousands of tokens have LP and they're botted and bots are just buying and burning and minting, when they mint, that will raise the floor of gas respectively for Pulse Chain, making Pulse Chain more valuable, right? Our transactions forever will become more when this thing actually starts humming. And what that will do, in essence, is raise the floor price of MV, which will raise the floor price of all the Treasury tokens, which is the buy and burn for the entire Atropa ecosystem. So, like, yes, when this thing actually has some buy pressure and or starts, humming along and doing some things, like, gas is going to go up. I mean, I remember when people used to fucking bitch at me for my ecosystem, saying I was a gas guzzler and I was filling blah. It's like, my shit's cheap now compared to what it was, like.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you for sharing all of that. So hopefully there's some big light bulb moments for people there, just like there was for me. So you guys can't be fucking serious. Just get a job and buy EHEX. Yeah, I mean, that's also another strategy that you can do. So for sure. But, if you're in a third world country, the dollars that you're getting, the hours that you're spending working, might not have as much value. Maybe in Australia, the hours that I'm working, the dollars that I'm getting per hour is different. But yeah.
Hexzilla is supposed to be like 2 billion to 1 or some shit, right? And it got down to like 1,000 to 1. Maria just nuked it, and that was the launch, right? Just like every downward to zero, 99.9%, right? So Hexzilla has done multiple X's on your Hex since the bottom. If you just pay attention to the multipliers and what's going on, then you can totally, like, you don't buy EHEX, you watch Hexzilla, and you know that right now it's at like 4,000 to 1, and it's supposed to be at 2 billion to 1. So like, there's still some good X's to be had,
Right. Yeah, exactly. So people, again, it's like, even if you just want to stick with your core coins, I mean, and I think in here there's like a 2CP. That was the other one, Sonny, where you were like DARPA, strawberry shortcakes, and I think it was 2CP.
Yep, the Pulse one.
Yeah. Like, even if you just want to hold your bloody Pulse chain tokens and you only want to accumulate this, and I'm just going to hold it because Richard told me only to hold Hex, and that's what I'm going to do. You can even win in this ecosystem with just that. You can even add plus with just that. Yeah, you can go to work if you want to, but on a weekend you got nothing to do. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what's the downside? I don't understand, like, why people would be so against something like this. I mean, we got Hexzilla 666 and you got Hexzilla 999. So yeah, I mean, gee whiz. I mean, I don't know. I don't get what the downside is. So what's that, a 1-to-1? So what's this, a 1-to-3?
That bottom one is like a whole bunch of numbers to parity. Just pull up that chart, 999.
Against Hex?
Yeah. That should be its biggest pair. It's got a pretty good pair, I think. Yeah, 27K. So yeah, 27K in Lick with the Hex pair on a 46K market cap coin. But if you do it versus Hex, and then you go math out the mint, it's like 2 billion. Let me see. I'll pull it. It's 2 billion or 20 billion to 1, right? And it got down there to the bottom to like 1,000. And you can see launch price was like 20 billion. Okay, so it's 20 billion. Yep. See launch price? 20 billion to 1. That's what this coin is worth, right? That's what it takes to mint Hexzilla. So like, it was at launch price, and then Dev dumped it all the way down, threw in fat lick, and it sat at the bottom for a minute, and then people started being like, oh shit, like this thing's at 1,000 to 1. It's supposed to be 20 billion to 1. So like, 20 billion minus 3 zeros would be 2 billion 200. That's like 200 million to 1 if this went to its mint price. So like, if the Hexzilla 999 token is ever needed in the game for whatever crazy Hexzilla Loch Ness monster koi trick, like, that's it. If there's ever buy pressure on this one, and I'm pretty sure that Maria got rid of the full bag. If you go look at holders, maybe they still have half. But I think they would take the other half and do a liquid personally. Maybe they dump it and take the Hex out. I don't know, but that's a lot of X's.
It's a considerable amount of X's.
Right. So like, am I saying it's going to go there? No, not at all. But there's legitimately no reason. No one's going to mint it and dump on your head. If you look at the holders list on any of these coins and you're like, oh shit, like, nobody even owns it. Nobody can dump on my head. It's just like, there's so many really good mathematical decisions that one can make in this ecosystem. And like that one, Hexzilla, I think is one of them. Like I've been snagging it. Every time I come by it, I just buy a little more, buy a little more, buy a little more. Who cares, So yeah, 2501, 14%, not bad. Like if they want to dump that, they can dump it.
again, it's almost like and just this little lesson from Maria, like, you know, almost a little carrot on the stick for the hex people who just don't want to use the ecosystem. All they want from Pulse Chain is for other people to come and put their money into their token so that they can sell and go on a holiday. That's all that they want this blockchain for. But Maria's like, okay, well, here we go. Here's something that you can do with this blockchain if you just come along, and there's opportunities here. If you just open your eyes and see what's here and use this blockchain, and in using this blockchain, you're marketing this blockchain and you're contributing to this blockchain and you're giving it life. I mean, yeah, what a wonderful thing.
It's kind of funny, Hex or not. Like, I never got into Hex. I will never get into Hex. Hex is just not my thing. It's not my kind of trade, right? However, I still have Hex LP. I still have the Heart token. I've got the Halloween token. Like, 3 tokens, buying and burning Hex LP, 2 different ones, buying and burning Hex LP. Like, you know, it's like I still understand there's still a big part of this chain, right? But it's like the lessons, like the simple lessons were at Hex, right? Like, they launched with USD, waited for Ethereum to flip, and mooned the fuck out of it because it wasn't attached to Ethereum. It was based on USD, right? And then he went and did the same thing over here, right? He made the USD farms pay out more than the ETH ones so that people would put their money there, so that we were a stable coin chain. And everyone was like, oh, we need to be attached to Ethereum. Ethereum is moving without us. Oh my God. It's like, no, all of the P copies are 1,000,000 to 1 with that shit. That's just in the code, right? And they now follow Pulse. Any of those tokens, right? Like the stables, if you bring the stables over here and they become worth more money because people are buying Pulse Chain and they're on this chain, right? You don't need Ethereum to drag up, right? You don't actually want to be attached to Ethereum. Like we are and always will be. Luckily, I think it's still pretty small, maybe under 20%, 10%, something like that. But like we are mostly a stable coin based chain, and that's the best thing you could have, because when you fucking sell the ETH and put it into Pulse Chain and buy it, you actually truly move that economic pressure in the price. Like you drop the price of ETH when you do that, and you put the price of Pulse Chain up, rather than if you were just on Ethereum based on an Ethereum thing. You wouldn't, like, if you take Pulse and you buy Pulse X, you don't actually, well, I guess if we didn't have 1,000,000 pools, right? If it was just one versus the other, you wouldn't actually drop the price of Pulse Chain, right? You would just move the price of Pulse X and its liquidity. That's how normal chains work, right? If you're on Ethereum and you're playing Pepe, you don't move the price of Ethereum when you move Pepe up and down, right? You only move the price of Ethereum when you cash that shit out to stables.
Gotcha. Rip that cone, Sonny. Enjoy it. Okay, so I feel like the last half an hour, there's some epic alpha in here. So if you haven't understood this, just go and click some buttons and just follow the process that I just did to increase my Atropa holdings by 10%. I feel like there's some amazing, amazing alpha there. So I want to pivot a little bit now, and I'm going to be listening to you guys answer this, but because I've got to prepare for a class in an hour's time, just FYI, so I got to quickly do some things around, but I'm going to be listening. So obviously one of the big things with the Atropa ecosystem is it started with PDI, basically. It started with PDI, and now I have to be careful how I say this, but not like, you know, I'm hosting the PDI conference coming up, right? And I just love the whole, I love the story behind PDI. I love what it represents. I love the idea of what it represents. That's the thing which excites me most about it. Yes, I've got some PDI. I want it to go to $1, all that kind of stuff, but I love what it means, the philosophy behind it, what it means for the world, what it means for finance. So obviously, we mentioned cash money earlier. We mentioned this layer 2. I don't know anything about the layer 2. I don't want to go too much into that in this particular stream, but the ESM being killed. So let's just assume that the ESM for MakerDAO is finished. Let's just make, some people are saying it's being upgraded. Let's take that out of the equation. So even with this out of the equation, do you guys think that Maria has some kind of a plan to get PDI to the $1 mark and keep it there in some particular kind of way? Like when I look at all the tools with the V2, the V3, the V4, I look at what the Mandala ecosystem is doing with MXDAI. I see a future where, hey, we could slowly over time build this liquidity up, lock it at a particular ratio by pouring liquidity. Well, not lock it, but it would like kind of hover around a particular ratio. Do you guys see a story emerging with PDI, with the Atropa ecosystem and what Maria's trying to build? And if so, what might that be?
Can I ask you a question?
Ask me?
Yeah.
Sure.
When the ESM was called, when PDI was at the height of its, shit hitting the fan, when everything came to a fucking end, where was James?
He's pretty much bailed, really.
Okay, so why in the world would you think for a second he would peg PDI for you?
I don't think he would peg it for me. I just feel like I just feel like it's a community thing, and James is providing the tools that it can be a possibility. Again, not to peg it and it stays there and it's locked there by code, but
So this is the thing, is I remember when the minting was happening, the biggest thing with James is he had a number for how much PDI was acceptable for his calculation to make sense. And when that exceeded that number, that's when he was like, this doesn't work for my math. It's abandoned ship at this point until something changes. And that's just exactly what happened. It was just, he had to, you have to look at it. PDI was just maybe another experiment in terms of this and that. And at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to cut your losses and be like, hey, you know what? I'll take what I can get out of this, and if it fixes itself. Thankfully, it did. But the thing with PDI though is the one tool they actually had that works to peg it, which is I guess maybe what Maker does now, or their Sky. I don't really kind of pay attention to what's going on over there, but obviously we tried to apply that same thing over here. But obviously there's keys involved and there's bigger things, and the whole thing happened. And then the thing is, ever since then, everyone who's come out to make community tools for this thing has taken the money and run. So like, I don't know what to tell you, but like, you guys should be is the abusive spouse that keeps beating you and you go back to them, or the ex you can't let go, or it's just one of those things where it's just another coin now. So unless RH does something with it, I think it's completely fucking dead in terms of things, and it's just going to get carried up with the rest of stuff. I mean, he talks more about WBTC about anything, so that's so heavily attached to WBTC that it'll get dragged up no matter what. James buys Atropa, it's going to get dragged up no matter what. So it's going to go up no matter what, and kind of like Sonny said, it's going to go past that $1. So it won't ever peg. Richard Hart already has a stable coin. It's the stable LP coin. And basically it's literally bought and sold and basically pegged at $1. But like, to say that the goal is to sit here and peg a coin so that it's stable, it's like, well, no, the stableness comes from knowing how the oscillation works in charts. Like, basically buy at the lower oscillation, and then when it goes higher, you sell. And you can flip a chart either way depending on how you look at it. So that's kind of the thing, is like,
and stable LP, if you go pull it up on the chart, like it's usually sitting around $1.06 or $1.07. Because it's a superior stable coin, it's actually worth more than $1.
There you go. So I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't mean to come up like gun blazing there. It's just it's like, unless there's someone who really comes out and does something for it, and really creates something and puts the money behind it, it's a failed experiment. It's just another fork coin that had a flaw in it that everyone got drawn to, and like I even bought into the PETA hype at one point, and then I don't know, I lost just a lot of money on just a lot of stupid trading, and realized I had to learn a better way of doing it other than listening to people. So yeah, it's just I think it is what it is, man.
I don't even know
I
that
think
it
a
was
lot of
a experiment, right? Like it's still just part of the code. LUSD, I would maybe label in the failed experiment, right? But even that, like, there's no failure there. Like, it did what was meant to be done in the code, right? So like now that PDIs whatever was like, oh, okay, PWBTC, like you talked about that one, and it's like, again, you hear me say it over and over. It's just like you got to zoom out. It's like there's the entire state fork of Ethereum, right? Like the whole thing, it all has this harmony because it's already in LPs, just the way it was at the fork, right? So like shit that
this is
we
the
never
thing.
trade, the bots will trade WETH through, and it will go up in price.
And the thing is, there's so many protocols that can be unlocked by the other side that as soon as they come over, they can sit here and go, damn, I'll just unlock this and just dump all the USD I have locked in this vault for, quick, couple $1,000s or something like that. So like eventually when people wake up to this stuff, they're going to see a lot of more stuff get dumped because they're going to have the value in the stuff and they're going to realize what they have, right?
And that's it too, right? And like that's why I say all the time that we're going past parity, right? Like if there's only, and this isn't the number, right? But let's just say there's 1,000 BTC, right? And you can't mint them. If they went to parity right now, everybody that owned one would sell them. They'd go buy the real one. They'd be like, fuck this fake thing, I'm buying the real one, right? So now everyone that's in LP has all of those coins. They're all literally available in LP, and no one can dump them anymore, right? So as Pulse Chain goes up, as long as they're paired to Pulse, they will outpace the actual counterpart.
It's kind of like the people that are completely oblivious to the coins in the wallet at the end of the day, after like 10 or 15 years, are the ones that'll win because they just didn't even know that they had free money waiting for them. And then now their coins on the other side are like past parity. That's kind of I guess the irony. Maybe like some people they'll realize that they have this money after the fact and they'll be worth more than what they thought. And then our pools will be so thick it won't matter if they sell or not.
I feel like we lost the Coco Fufu baby.
No, I'm still here. Sorry, I'm listening. I'm just not at the computer. I'm listening in the
Oh
background, and I
yeah,
appreciate
oh,
you guys.
no word. I thought I've been getting cut off all day, so I wasn't sure if it was like my signal again. I was talking to myself. I was like, ah, fuck. Here we go.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, you guys make like excellent points, to be honest, and it's always something that's in the back of my mind. But I wonder, does anybody else have alternative perspectives to what Sonny and Stu have been putting forward?
Well, I would say that I'm not like a PETA hater. I'm also not like a fanboy person. I see it realistic, and I always thought that it's kind of weird how it's going to get collateralized, like where the backing is going to come from, not just magically from some like self-buy mechanism that then like makes up $80 billion. You know what I'm saying? That did never make sense for me. In the same time, I was like, yeah, I mean, logically, if Atropa and Teddy Bear, Treasury Bill, all this whole system here explodes, then it will pull PDI up because there's a huge burned LP between PDI and Atropa that can never be pulled. So in my opinion, I'm not like bearish on PDI. And at the same time, I'm also not like telling people that I know of a secret maker copy is like working in the background and we're getting packed tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I think it's might be a little irresponsible. But again, everybody's can do what they want. It's speculation and narrative. Attention is the whole thing in crypto. That's what it is. What it gives it value to, besides code and tech, is definitely attention. So, yeah, man, I'm not hating on it. I'm definitely would be excited if they go above $1, and hopefully they will.
And I guess I should clarify. I'm not necessarily like hating on it. Like I love the enthusiasm behind the group and this and that, but like, you gotta take a step back and really look at the logic of things and be like, okay, well, how many times are we gonna sit here until this doesn't work? Or how long are you gonna sit there realizing that everything else is going up versus your coin, that maybe you should scale out this and that. And it's just I just think the whole narrative to put your eggs in one basket, or that's kind of where people have gone too far. And unfortunately, like, it's gotten to the point now where, hey, I've been there. Your bags your bags are down. The only thing that you can hope to go up is if you show for your bags, man. And that's just this kind of it, right? It's the reality of the nature and things when it comes to crypto and especially Pulse chain. It's just the code doesn't lie.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Don't be
Yeah.
so sad. That sounds so sad. Just go look at the pulse chart on the 1 day. Go look at last year at September 13th or whatever day it is where you're at. And then remember what December was like and look at that chart and be like, oh shit, okay. All right. It's coming.
It was good in December.
Well,
It
think
was
about it.
real good in December.
We come a long way from literally thinking that it was like it was literally fucking over at one point for the chain because of how heavily attached PDI was to everything. So that was an interesting time. I'll be honest. I wasn't worried. It was just another opportunity, but it was just like, what the fuck's going on?
On the pulse chart, we're almost dead nuts where we were last year.
And that's crazy.
I have to say that the Vietnam times made me laugh a lot too. I know it was sad and there was a lot of people losing money and stuff, but it was highly entertaining too.
It's fucking hilarious, man. Grand Theft Auto, like fucking the cartoon version of that guy, and like, I don't know, man.
That was Dong. Dong was like season 4, episodes 3 through 12.
Funny. The stuff that we've gone through on this chain, and that's kind of the thing. Everyone who's been through this, through like the thick and thin, who's been able to get the wins here and there, it's like we've been through some crazy shit on this chain. Like like how many exploits and this and that, and then like, I don't know, and then even that, like after the fact, you're like, yeah, I made money on this shit.
Right.
I
And
don't know.
that's where this is a hard chain to onboard because we've gone through it. We're not leaving. We get it. And we're here. Like, we don't understand why you go anywhere else. But to come in and tell these stories, I wouldn't go to your chain either. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because someone was asking me, like, what do you invest in? Like, I basically told them about, like, yeah, get more coins. And the first thing that one guy said, he's like, that sounds like a fucking Ponzi. And I'm done. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you're 100% correct. I'm like, this is exactly what it sounds like. And I'm like, that's exactly what he wants it to fucking sound like. So, but the people who know understand. It's actually fucking
make money on this
hilarious.
chain and gamble, you do Pulse X and LP. If you want to make money on this chain and you don't want to gamble, you do a stable coin from Ethereum with another stable coin from Ethereum, and you just make APR on your stable dollars with, very, very low probability of loss. Or you really don't want to gamble, you just hold stable LP. You'll make 5% of your money there,
I will say, I think Maker was a pretty badass system, and I wish that it was working here on Pulse Chain, because just interacting with all the contracts when all that was going down was pretty pretty eye-opening compared to the other PRCs because you go mess around with Compound or like Aave, a lot of these other contracts, you need admin privileges to even go mess around and do just about anything. But if you play around with Maker and all the proxy contracts, and then you get into the auctions, it's like everyone could participate in all that stuff, and it would really be nice if it was back, but yeah, it was just one of those things. Too bad we
Oh,
didn't have a good Oracle,
oh yeah, man, it was fun too. It was actually it was a nice challenge to kind of go through and learn all that stuff and kind of pick through it and be like, I don't know, because you and me bounced a lot of stuff off of each other, like I don't know, you were light years ahead of me. And then like so every time I had like an aha moment, you're like, yeah, I've already been there. And I was like, ah fuck. So it was man, it was fun to kind of learn all that stuff. So I get what you're saying because it was uh it was a cool experience and it was the cool aspect to say, you know, have someone just like last second bet on vault and shit like that if that was the case. And I don't know. It would have been fun, but I also understand why it probably died on Ethereum as well, right? Just it gets botted, last second bots, this and that, and then eventually it's just not fun.
Yeah, and then yeah, I don't even know how it would have worked over here. It could have, I guess, if there was a good Oracle, but Pweeth is not Ethereum, so it was just pretty crazy to see it was sitting there the whole time during all the Atropa stuff and no one looked at it. It was, and then we're all just like, wow, this is crazy.
Well, it's kind of crazy that someone literally, I don't know. It's kind of wild how the whole thing went down because it was just like, you know, this was sitting there for basically anyone to kind of figure out. As of like, listen, there's still Easter eggs on this whole freaking chain that are there for us to figure out. We just got to go look for it. And then at the end of the day, it's just, you know, it's kind of like a shit. And then, sometimes you can say F it, this and that, or sometimes you say screw it. Like, how did they do it? And you can learn from it. And then, when you learn from it, you kind of take a little bit of knowledge every time you kind of go on to the next thing. It's Paul Shane's been really fun. And I know a lot of people will strangle me for me to say that, but like, yeah, it's been fun.
It's been wildly fun. It's been
Well, the
it's been
emotions of up and down are fun too, right? The dopamine.
oh yeah, I mean, we've been donged in the face, we've been nuked on, we've been we've been everything's happened on Pulse Chain. Everything that you can think of. What a chain, but
Like,
the discovery
yeah,
of the Atropa ecosystem, the witnessing of this new financial system that's being built out. If this plays out, what a what a blessing to be witnessing it, to be part of it, to be at the ground level of it. I mean, it's a phenomenal thing. I think I have to start getting ready. I've got a class coming up very soon, and I'm trying to eat some lunch while I listen to you guys quickly before I get this class. But I think we'll start to round everything up. So let's just go around one by one again. So start from top to bottom. Any closing comments? Any closing suggestions or anything you feel like we've missed out on, Yogi?
No, I thought this was great. I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I also feel that way. Sonny, anything that you would like to add or suggest or anything like this?
I took a good chunk of my Atropa earnings and turned it into a bunch of land and a little pickup truck and a little puppy, right? It's the cutest little puppy ever. And it likes to chew shit up. So I just want to thank all of you that are still buying FDIC, because this is the most spoiled dog you've ever met. And it's because I just print money out of FDIC all day long. So huge shout out to the FDIC fanboys. Love you.
Especially to the TA readers, the TA FDIC guys. Watch out for them.
I just like, oh man, if you're gonna do it, just do it in LP at least. Like, don't just hold it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I got a new puppy and he's spoiled as fuck. This dog has no idea. Aren't you, little puppy?
And, you know, it was something that I saw in the FDIC chat as well the other day. You know, like, I love that you boys have brought it back to life, but, you know, I think it was Ironclad who was getting, I think he got muted or almost banned from the chat, and I started defending him, and I thought I better not defend him too hard, because I'm going to probably get muted or banned. But, like, I know we all want to be mega bulls, and I know we all want to see things the way that we want it to be, and we want to like will these things into existence. But sometimes there's an inescapable reality of the math and the code, and this is also possibly the fate that PDI is going to be facing. So we also really have to be willing to accept the reality as it is. So I don't think it's FUD to say the things that have been said about FDIC. I think people really do need to be well considered when they look into that. So I mean, Sonny's literally been sitting here essentially like printing money on the back of people that are buying it up. So, you know, like he's
And
just doing his thing.
that's the thing. It's like we've been banging the table so long. We even tried to make other LPs to be like, you know, a bit more, I don't know, discreet. I don't know. I'm open about selling now. I don't care, because I've been banging the table with this thing for so long. Listen, I was able to quit my job. I also have a spoiled daughter that was able to travel most of the country, and just like just hey, thank you. Just thank you, FDIC buyers.
But, you know, I think there's something beautiful about it in the sense that you guys are, you know, like you're aware of, I mean, you're aware of this, but you're also telling people don't do it, because this is what I'm going to do. And you're actually telling people, it's not like, oh, buy this thing, and then, you know, you're secretly selling it in the background. You're literally telling them not to buy it. You're telling them not to do it. And then they're doing it. So then you're just going to take advantage of the opportunity, and like, kudos to you. So, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to come along and do it. And I would much rather you boys here be doing it than, you know, somebody else coming along in the future that is not necessarily caring about the Atropa ecosystem. But
well, I guess that's kind of the upside with it is at the end of the day, we won't be leaving the chain with the money. We'll just throw it somewhere else, and everyone wins.
so, how about for yourself, Stu? Any closing remarks or things you want to say?
No, honestly, thanks for having me on as usual, Steve. I know I can chit chat a lot. As usual, it doesn't seem like we ever have a stream that's under 2.5 hours, which is awesome. I would rather. There's nothing else I would rather do with my time than hang out with you guys and just shoot the shit about Atropa and just crypto. So like, this is the fun. Everyone out there, just be safe in your investments and trust no one but yourself. Said Treasury bill 1-to-1. Let's see it.
Oh, hashtag 1-to-1. Let's go. Who have we got next here? So Ironclad. Mr. Ironclad, sir. So your very first stream. Very excited to have you here. Very honored to have you here. Atropa OG. So anything that you feel like we've missed, or anything that you'd like to add or suggest to people?
I've flipped the script in my mind. I think FDIC is now going to peg to Fed, so everyone go buy.
Are you being serious?
I don't know.
No,
No.
like, you have to understand how much of a joke it is to us now, right? Like, we can't tell you to not do it anymore. Like FDIC should be at around a 50K market cap. And I've said this, like you can go back to the pub, you can look a month ago where I said, yeah, it's, you know, mint price, it's like a 50K market cap. These guys just ran it up to a 500K market cap. Like, I have an auto clicker just sitting here, right? I'm literally busting out $9 every 3 blocks. That's 60 minutes times 3. That's like $3,000 I've made. I just made $3,000 for this 3-hour stream. Thanks, guys. And I know they did too. Like,
Hey, fucking dude, I don't know if I've been doing a clip under $20 since the last couple of days.
it's ridiculous. Like, so, you know, the flip side is anyone can do it. We'll sit here, we'll tell you how to do it. You can go look at our wallets, you can figure out exactly how we did it. Like, the reason that we can do it so well with the Fed is because we were there when Maria minted it at a huge loss, and we were able to scramble some off the contract, but the other guy totally beat us to it. We all got decent positions off of there, right? But then he dumped like 90% of the supply, just dumped it one click. And the three of us were just like, oh, bye. And like, you know, that me, Iron, and Stu in that 5 minutes time all became millionaires, like billionaires if we play it right. You know, I don't have any desire to ever have $1 billion, but like, you know, it's not out of any of our range because we got in these positions literally for clicking buttons for gas prices. Like, I didn't buy anything with fucking Pulse. I just bought it with another asset that I was minting. Like,
That's kind of the funny thing when people are like, what happens if it goes down? It's just like, what do you mean? It's like, I paid nothing for this. Literally nothing but my time and knowledge. And like, you gotta remember, this is like two or 3 weeks of like sleepless nights. I think, you know, we were up like 24/7 trying to crack the code on all this shit. And like, you know, it was fucking hard.
oh, you and Iron went at it, man. I'm proud of both of you boys. Like, I got beat out and done with the PDI shit. And that's right, where both of you were like, we're figuring out fucking Maker. You know, it's just like, it's like, I'll cheer you on, but I'm fucking done. I'm old, 2 years in this space. You know?
It was fun, man.
But yeah, the wealth
Yeah.
of knowledge there in playing some fucking video games and just clicking buttons and figuring out the code led to freedom, man. Freedom and spoiled puppies.
Love it. Maddie, Crypto Charla. How about yourself, man? Anything that you'd like to close on or suggest or?
Not really a lot more. It's been great hanging out. It's been great laughing a lot. I'm very positive about the whole thing. Fed and Treasury bill 1-to-1. Let's get the system going. Let's let Treasury bill fly. And yeah, man, what's the hurry? Click some buttons, make some tokens, multiply your portfolio. Then it's never boring. Anyway, peace out. Have a good night.
That's it. I love that. And yeah, we even showed Sonny walked us through how to do it, how to take the opportunities with the arbitrage, with the AP. So go back to, I don't know, it was probably about the 2.5 hour mark, something like this. And so, yeah, I want to just close by saying thank all of you guys for all of your willingness to give your time and your knowledge to everyone in the community so selflessly. You know, none of you ever really asked for anything in return. You're just there for the people, creating, helping, giving. And that's what I really love about the Atropa ecosystem. That's what I love about this corner of Pulse Chain. I think really it exemplifies a lot of what Pulse Chain is actually. But even still, I just want to express my gratitude to you guys. And, you know, you guys make this fun. And I've really enjoyed every minute of this stream. So I know that there's going to be many more to come. And I just wonder, what's it going to be like in 3 years' time, in 10 years' time? You know, this is, for me, I'm looking at this screen here with the 6 of us here. And I'm like, what a bunch of dudes, man. Like, yeah, I love you all, man. So.
Likewise, brother. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And, you know, sleepover party at the Atropa house.
I get the good room.
I thought you were in the trailer at the back.
Well, I get the good room too, and I'll fight you for it.
All right, you can have it, man. You can have it. You deserve it.
I'm just kidding. We'll share it. We'll cuddle.
Bunk beds. So
No
Hold on.
pity.
I bet you Pete
Where-
I gets pegged in the mansion.
Where's my hold on? Where's my wife? Oh, she's outside. My wife's outside. Give me the room I can sneak girls into. I'm just playing. Anyways, you guys have a good night, eh?
yeah,
Or
love
Steve,
it.
you have a good day.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm just in. I will enjoy the rest of my day. I got a lot of work to do, so I'm about to do some meditation in 20 minutes. So, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We got over 550 people here on Twitter and on YouTube. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed this. Share it out. Again, if you've ever got questions, Sunny's Pub, that's the place to be. That's the pub, the hub for the love. So, everybody, thank you very much. Have a fantastic night or a fantastic day and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much.